guys, welcome in. It is the Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a great Friday. We got so much to get to today, and, well, my mission day is simple. Don't die on the air. My kid, she brought the crud home from the daycare. But, we don't take days off on this program. We are here, and we're glad you're here with us for the next 3 hours as we bring you Indiana news and politics and government you won't hear anywhere else. On the program today, we have new Diego Morales travel drama. We have all of this hoopla now over Greg Ballard's signatures and these apparently forged signatures that took place. We've got audio from the mayor of Shelbyville. We got a lot to get to, and as you guys know, nobody does Indiana news, politics, and government like us. Want to remind you guys, though, we've still got a couple tickets left for our live show, June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club Event Center in Greenwood. We are what? What are we? We're 8 days. 8 days away. You got 8 days. Don't wait. It's a smaller venue setup than we had the last time. Few tickets left. Get your tickets now. They'll be gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. Get the tickets at robkendallshow.com. Link at the top of the page. And coming out with us, we're going to have a great evening celebrating you, our fabulous audience. We're wrapping up 16 weeks of unbelievable programming. You guys have helped us so much grow every single day, every single week, and we wanted to say thank you. That's what the live show is all about. Get your tickets now. June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club Event Center in Greenwood. Ticket link at the top of robkendallshow.com. Also want to say thanks to Kevin and Derek, who hit the support button over at robkendallshow.com yesterday. Thank you guys for that. If you like what we do, if you enjoy this program, you can show that by throwing a few dollars our way. $1, $10, $10,000, whatever it is. We don't turn any of it down. Thanks to all of you who have hit the support button at robkendallshow.com. All right, let's get right to it. So the Star had a big expose, came out yesterday on more shenanigans related to Diego Morales' travel. And, don't kid yourselves. That's not a coincidence this came out 2 days before the convention, right? So what this relates to is multiple instances in which Diego Morales and his wife took trips that were paid for, according to the Star, by Chief Legal Counsel Jerry Bonnet. He paid for them with his own money and was later reimbursed by the state. When the trips appeared in the office's annual travel report, required in a 2025 law. Now remember, because of Diego's suspect travel, the General Assembly changed the law on how travel had to be reported because of Diego. These trips were not itemized, and it was only recently that it came to light that Morales' wife was involved in what were essentially taxpayer-funded trips. Now, let me say this. It is super weird the way this is being done. Okay? It is super giant red flag that the chief of staff, well, as they call him, chief legal counsel, is fronting the money for the trips. That's not normal. I mean, if it's a state-approved trip, why wouldn't the state be paying for it? And if anyone was going to pay out of pocket and then be reimbursed, which is kind of a red flag, why wouldn't Diego pay for it? If Diego's taking the trips, why is there a third party fronting the money for the trips and then being reimbursed by the state? Red flag number one is the fact that you've got the chief legal counsel fronting the money for these trips and then being reimbursed. The Star goes on to write, Bonnet eventually paid back the state for travel and other expenses, but only years later, after they were flagged as, quote, improper. The more than $5,000 in repayments came in May, exactly 1 day after Max Engling entered the Secretary of State's race last minute at the behest of Jim Banks. So are you guys starting to see what happened here? So Bonnet pays for these trips. He gets reimbursed for the state. The trips then get flagged as improper, which we'll get to in a second through the State Board of Accounts. And then right after Max Engling enters the race, Bonnet puts more money back into the coffers. Why is the chief legal counsel paying for Diego to go on trips? Why is that happening? Again, if they're trips Diego is taking, why isn't he paying for them? Why is a state employee paying for a statewide office holder to go on trips? That doesn't make any sense. Years-old receipts were brought to the attention of the state examiner, Paul Joyce, by an anonymous tip earlier this year. Oh, you don't say, huh? Upon reviewing the receipts, Joyce said he found that the expenses were, quote, improper because they were for people that were not state employees, a violation of policy. Bingo, the wife. There's no reason. I mean, first of all, as we've talked about, and by the way, Indy Reporter is going to be with us later today, Stephen Whitmer, and we're going to go over, sort of, since it's right before convention, all of the Diego drama. Because if there's anybody that dislikes Diego more than me, it's Indy Reporter. And he has spent years digging into Diego. We're going to talk about the meltdown that he had a week ago that Indy Reporter filmed. We'll talk about the spot bonuses that he handed out. We'll talk about the donors, the mega donors that also donate to other high-profile Republican politicians. That's coming up in a little bit. The travel for Diego is suspect to begin with. There's no reason for the wife to be going on a state dime. She's not a state employee. Now, get a load of this. The Star reached out to Diego's office for a quote on this. Listen to this quote. Quote, unfortunately, at the moment, our office is heavily engaged in ongoing recount proceedings, requiring significant staff attention and being rushed today due to concerns about an impending weather emergency, spokesperson Lindsay Eaton said on June 17th. As a result, we need additional time to research your questions to provide accurate and thorough responses. We're too busy with the recount. Sure, hey, we've got all these employees in this office, but we're so busy with the recount that we can't respond to your questions about travel reimbursement. That's their excuse. According to the Star, the money Bonnet returned to the state included the cost of 3 separate flights and 3 conference registration fees for Morales' wife in 2023 and 2024, hearing aids for Bonnet, and conference registration fees for 2 non-employees, including one with the last name Morales in 2023. Why would the state be paying for hearing aids for the chief legal counsel for the Secretary of State? On what planet would that be remotely okay? Receipts and expense records obtained by the Star show that Morales often traveled with his wife while conducting business with the National Association of Secretaries of State. In an email requesting reimbursement for a trip to Washington, D.C. for the National Association of Secretaries of State's conference in 2024, Bonnet wrote that Morales and his wife, and then Chief of Staff Alina Cupsey, Deputy Chief of Staff, I think. We don't really know what she was, just that she was a non-citizen. Where is she, by the way? Where did she go? She's disappeared. Where is Alina Cupsey? She's gone. Disappeared. They needed to accompany the Secretary of State because, quote, the National Association of Secretaries of State expects wives and staff of the members of its executive committee to fulfill assigned roles facilitating conference administration. So what, they're like putting plates out for people when they eat? What are they doing, the laundry? What do you mean? You expect your wife to come and do administrative work? What year is this? 1953? Bonnet used the claim along with the security-related concerns, the need to accommodate other meetings and overlap with another trip as justification for not going through the Indiana Department of Administration's travel department. Right. Sure. The Star then reached out to the National Association of Secretaries of State, and they said in an email that spouses and staff are encouraged to attend the conference, but the organization said they are not required to help facilitate anything. So that's a lie. So they lied. Well, somebody's lying. I'll give you one guess on who it probably is. Records also show that Cupsey, who of course left the office in April and is a non-citizen and has seemingly disappeared, was reimbursed for a series of Uber rides across D.C. during the conference. She appears to have traveled to the addresses associated with the Heritage Foundation. That's a conservative political think tank. And embassies for Italy, Latvia, and Hungary. Now, on what planet would the Indiana Secretary of State need to have an employee, a non-citizen employee, going to the embassies of Italy, Latvia, and Hungary? The answer is there is no reason for that to ever happen. None. I mean, at least not related to his job as Secretary of State. The Uber reimbursements have not been flagged by the state as improper. The visit to the Hungarian embassy came nearly a year before Diego Morales' wife became honorary consul of Hungary in Indiana. Guys, look, we've told you this for years now. We call these people corruption or us for a reason. They're like mafia figures. There's no reason for any of this. This stuff has not happened before in state government. And it brings us to the hypocrisy of the people like Jim Banks and Todd Rokita, who knew exactly what this guy was, and they didn't do anything about it. Not only did they not do anything about it, they endorsed him. They supported him. Later in 24, Morales and his wife returned to D.C., records show. In an email requesting reimbursement for flights, Bonnet writes that Morales and his wife each had official diplomatic functions to attend. Official diplomatic functions? Your job is to administer elections for the state of Indiana. Your job is to oversee businesses for the state of Indiana, business licensure. What the hell is a diplomatic function? You're not a diplomat. You're the Secretary of State. Diego's wife's October flight was one of 3 flights Bonnet repaid to the state in 2026. But the state also paid $4,000 for a 4-night hotel stay for Morales and a second unknown guest, records show, in Washington, D.C., even though Morales' flight receipt and social media indicate he was only in D.C. for the first 2 nights of the hotel booking. So according to the Star, for some reason, there were 2 additional nights of a hotel paid for where Diego wasn't there. And the answer is pretty obvious. The Star goes on to write, his wife's return flight, however, was 2 days later, on the checkout date for the hotel booking. So basically, you as a taxpayer, according to the Star, paid for this woman to stay in a lavish hotel for 2 nights after her husband, who is the Secretary of State, had left. These people, it is a sense of entitlement. They're mafia figures. It's a sense of entitlement. They believe they can do whatever they want, and you will just shut up and pay for it. The entire Republican Party is to blame for this because they've known what Diego is. You know, when you heard Bo Bai on yesterday, and he talked about running against Republican corruption, this is what he's talking about. Yes, Diego is wholly corrupt. Absolutely. But all of these other people who knew what he was and did nothing played a role in this. It's not like this is a surprise to anyone. The guy disappeared to a foreign country for 10 days. And the Republicans just went, well, hope he had a nice time. He was in India with a guy named Raju Shantala who had an $80,000 taxpayer-funded contract with Diego's office where we have no idea what the guy did, and we know that guy was bragging about being in India with Diego selling visa access. And everybody said, that's fine. Nobody did a thing. All of these Republicans who have now turned on Diego, for the most part, almost all of them, fully funded his budget. They voted to give him money to do this stuff. Now they cry outrage. Now they act like as though something egregious has happened. Well, something egregious has happened. But these people did nothing about it. Nothing. They knew what he was. They knew what he represented. They knew what he was doing. And they did nothing. You think it's a coincidence? You think it's a coincidence that this thing ended up on Paul Joyce's doorstep a couple months before the convention? You think that's an accident? This went on for years, and just all of a sudden, a couple of months before the convention, it ends up on the state examiner's doorstep? Of course not. Of course not. The same way it's also not an accident that Diego Morales had a non-citizen working for him. And what, a month before the election, the convention, it comes to light. These people only care about money and about power. Everything they do is about hanging on to power and protecting the money that gives them the power. I was talking with somebody yesterday about this article. And I mean, it's an incredibly damaging article under normal circumstances. I was talking with somebody very connected inside the Statehouse. And they said, but why would it change anything? If after all these years of all the stuff Diego has done, if you're still voting for Diego on Saturday, why would this change anything? What did you learn here that you would say you didn't deep down already know what it was? Look, I stand by there needs to be a formal investigation by Ryan Mears, the Marion County prosecutor, and the Inspector General into Diego Morales. This man has access to the personal data, the personal information of millions of Hoosiers. Tens of thousands of Hoosier businesses. And you have this guy disappearing to foreign countries, going on lavish trips. You have his workers going to foreign embassies. This isn't your normal run-of-the-mill scumbag, guys. And the Republicans don't want the truth to come out. They want him to lose. They want him to go away. They don't want the truth to come out. And so we'll see what happens tomorrow. But when you look at the not even a pattern of behavior, it is the behavior. It is who he is. And it's a sense of entitlement that I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, with whoever I want, and no one's going to stop me. The man went to a foreign country for 10 days, and we know his right-hand guy, was there bragging about selling Visa access in the same city Diego met with the mayor. And we know a controversial venture capitalist went with them. This is your Republican Party. They covered it up the entire time until they knew he was going to lose. The only reason any of this has come out, and the only reason they have publicly turned on Diego, is because they knew he was going to lose. Guys, you have a dog, but you don't have a fenced-in yard. Your HOA won't allow a fence. Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use, in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence is locally owned. Owners Kelly and Jeff have 3 dogs themselves, and so believed in the product they bought the business. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products, designed and manufactured in the United States with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606. It's 317-862-6606. Or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Allamericandogfence.com. And all you got to do is mention you heard about them on the Rob Kendall Show, and you get an incredible $200 off. $200 off just for saying, heard about you on the Rob Kendall Show. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, there is a whole bunch of controversy now over signatures turned in by Greg Ballard that are believed to be forged. And so we will tell you what happened with that and the interesting response from the Republicans. We'll talk about that next when we come back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties. I would love to get to know you. I know that buying and selling a home is a really big deal. You need a plan in place so you can succeed. And that's where I come in. If you are buying, let me help you find that perfect home. And if you are selling, let me help you find that perfect buyer. Look, we're all Rob Kendall Show fans here. That's why I'd love to get to know you. I'm Lauren Wilson, Realtor with App Properties, an Army veteran and a Hoosier through and through. Call me at 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290.
Do you have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use, in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606 or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Mention the Rob Kendall Show and get $200 off a new installation.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the Central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Hope you're having a great Friday. If you're heading up to the convention in Fort Wayne today, tomorrow, be safe, safe travels. And obviously all eyes are going to be on Fort Wayne to see what the Republicans do tomorrow with their Secretary of State nominee. Couple of announcements, and then we're going to talk about Greg Ballard's signature drama. came down yesterday that there were believed to be some fraudulent signatures found, and I thought the response from the Republicans was fascinating. A couple of housekeeping items. Number one, if you haven't done so yet, please give us a thumbs up. We call it like, share, and subscribe. That's the way you can help us grow the program. Number one, hit that little thumbs up button. Like the show, whether you're watching us live or on demand on YouTube, really helps us grow the program. Number two, share us out. If you're on Facebook, if you got a Twitter, wherever you're listening or watching us from, share it out. If you're on Apple, Spotify, by the way, hello and welcome to all of our on-demand listeners, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, all of the places. We couldn't do it without you. We've had great growth with our on-demand listening on the listening platforms. It's always wild to me. And we heard this in the beginning. Well, I don't do YouTube. Really? No, I don't do YouTube. Why not? I just don't like it. And we have seen great growth in our on-demand podcasting platforms over the past several weeks. So thanks to every one of you, whether you're listening to us live or on demand, we appreciate you. And subscribe. Whatever platform you got us on, Apple, Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, wherever you're at, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. That helps us grow our program. Also, thanks to Gina. She hit the support button today over at robkendallshow.com. We certainly appreciate that, in addition to Kevin and Derek, who did so yesterday. And one other announcement, our dear friend John Rust, of course, John Rust, the sponsor of our third hour, he's going to be speaking at a big event in Avon on June the 23rd. That's a Tuesday, 6:30 p.m., FC Tucker Building in Avon. It's located right by Ronald Reagan Parkway there. Best Buy, Texas Roadhouse, Office Depot, all those right near the FC Tucker Building. John's going to be talking about the American founding, qualities that make American exceptional, and ways to advance these principles today. I'm planning on heading out there to see our buddy John Rust. The Indie Defenders of Liberty are putting the event on. They're a great group committed to better government, been around about 15 years now. Always do an outstanding job. So look forward to seeing all of you who can come out and support John. John's been a huge supporter of our show, has done an awesome job being behind us. Anything we've ever asked of him, and most times he just does it on his own. Hey, you want a billboard? Boom, there you go. Great friend of the show, John Rust, will be speaking Tuesday, June the 23rd at the FC Tucker Building in Avon. Father's Day is Sunday, guys. And if you're looking for something different to do for Dad, why not take him to brunch at the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro? That brunch is going to be so awesome. Even the buys are going. Did you hear Bo buy yesterday? I said, what are you doing for Father's Day? He said, we're going to the bistro. You might be able to dine with celebrities if you go to the bistro this Sunday. Man, what a great menu they've got set up for Father's Day. Fried Atlantic cod, pork burger sliders, pasta salad, corn on the cob, kickin' baked beans, Dolly's potato salad, peach cobbler a la mode, and a non-alcoholic drink, all included in the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro Father's Day brunch buffet. And it's an easy trip. Just get on 40. It's right there. Scenic, outdoor, waterside view, outdoor seats. Great opportunity for you to do something different for Dad this Father's Day. Got to do a reservation, though. A lot of times you can just show up. Not this one. You got to reserve your spot. 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003. The Honeysuckle Hill Bistro, located in beautiful Brazil. All right. Ballard. Let's talk about Greg Ballard. So this story comes to us from the Indiana Capital Chronicle. Hamilton County officials have reported a page of 10 signatures submitted by a volunteer from Greg Ballard's independent campaign for Secretary of State as potentially fraudulent, prompting the county Republican Party leader to call for an investigation and prosecution. All right, so let's explain what's going on here. Most of you know, but we have new listeners all the time. For those who don't, Greg Ballard, the former mayor of Indianapolis, Republican mayor of Indianapolis, is trying to run for Secretary of State as an independent. And as such, he has to get almost 37,000 verified signatures. That is a gargantuan task. And so his campaign to do this is made up of a variety of people. He has a group of a firm that he hired, which is the primary people, the primary way this is getting done. But he also has individual people who are doing this for him. Just regular people say, hey, I like your campaign. I'm going to go out. I'll get the signatures for you. It is a gargantuan task to acquire 37,000 signatures. And one of the pitfalls when you're trying to do this without a party apparatus, organization, money behind you is you got to take what you can get in terms of volunteers. And sometimes, and this is not uncommon, what has happened with Ballard, you get some rogue actors that don't behave correctly. And it appears that may be what happened here. Now, to put this in perspective, Ballard has turned in over 35,000 signatures already. So that comes out to these 10 signatures, about 0.002% of the total signatures they've actually turned in. I mean, it's a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of the signatures they've turned in. Now, of course, the Republicans want to make this the world's biggest deal because they want to paint Ballard, because Ballard is a real threat. They want to paint Ballard as a bad guy. They want to draw doubts about Ballard. Now, this person, if indeed these signatures are fraudulent, which they appear to be, should absolutely be prosecuted. You attest when you turn in the signatures, these signatures are real. And if this person lied and did this, they should absolutely be prosecuted. And I think Ballard agrees with that. We'll read his quote here in a moment. According to the Capitol Chronicle, the Hamilton County Election Administrator, Beth Scheller, said her staff discovered one page of suspect signatures for the Ballard campaign sometime in late May or early June. Quote, 9 out of 10 of these addresses were not real addresses, she told the Capitol Chronicle. The one legitimate address was with a name not registered to vote at that location, and instead matched the name of a volunteer who submitted the signatures. And, all the writing's kind of the same, Scheller said. That's what led us to believe that they were possibly fraudulent, and so we let the state police decide. An example at least should be set, otherwise it's going to keep happening. She did, however, caution that Ballard campaign didn't necessarily do anything wrong. Exactly. The bigger conversation about Ballard getting on the ballot, whether he makes it or he doesn't, is the barrier to access for regular people. What Greg Ballard is showing through this signature process is how intense, what a high hurdle, the barrier to access to run for public office is for regular people. A plurality of Hoosiers do not identify with the Republican or Democrat parties. And yet, the Republican and Democrat parties get a free pass to get on the ballot with their nominee. Greg Ballard, whose views represent the majority of Hoosiers, has to do this gargantuan task to get on the ballot. And again, it doesn't make it okay what the person did. It doesn't mean they shouldn't be punished. They should. But there is just zero way, starting from scratch with no political apparatus whatsoever behind you or infrastructure, that you're going to be able to police every person who's out getting signatures for you. It's not going to work. You're hodgepodging this thing together. And the bigger story is, why does it have to be this way? I think everybody knows Greg Ballard is a legitimate candidate. Greg Ballard, if he gets on the ballot, is not going to be an also-ran. He's not going to get 2% of the vote. And yet, he has to go through all of these hurdles to simply get on the ballot. Now, again, this person, and let me be as specific as I can, if indeed they lied, if indeed these signatures are forged, they should be prosecuted. Scheller, the election administrator in Hamilton County, said they're trusting their people to go out and get the signatures, and they don't know until we go through it. Exactly. You cannot police people who are out getting these signatures. You can't. There's no infrastructure. There is really no Ballard campaign yet. I mean, he has people that are helping him get the signatures, but there's no infrastructure with this. Hey, I want to help you. I want to go get signatures. Okay, great. Here's the form. Now, the Republicans wasted zero time hopping on this. Mario Masalamani is the Hamilton County GOP chairman, Quote, Greg Ballard is running for the office responsible for protecting Indiana's elections, yet a volunteer on his campaign has been caught submitting fraudulent petition signatures. If you cannot run an honest petition drive, you have no business running the office that safeguards our elections. Oh, that's rich coming from you, Mario. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Mario's got a history himself that it ain't hard to find. And that's rich coming from you, Mario. By the way, Mario Masalamani is the law partner of State Representative Chris Jeter, Republican state rep. You want to talk about throwing stones from a glass house, Mario. Again, we're talking about 0.002% of the signatures that have been submitted, and Mario knows damn well how this works. They've set up a system in which it's impossible to police every person out getting signatures for you. He knows that. Mario's a smart guy. And yet he's acting as though Greg Ballard engaged when even the Hamilton County election administrator essentially said, they don't know. You can't follow these people around. They turn them in. And you just got to hope they're doing it right. The Republicans and Democrats have created a system in which it is essentially impossible for regular people to run for public office unless you do it under the banner of the Republicans or the Democrats. And then you have the Hamilton County GOP chair acting as though Greg Ballard was out engaging in a fraudulent petition drive. Ballard's campaign said this: it's why all signatures are verified by the counties and why each signature gatherer has to sign each petition sheet attesting to the validity of the signatures on it. The campaign is committed to following all state and federal election laws. As soon as we learned of the issue, we ended the Rogue Individuals Association with the campaign. Look, it's a bad look. There's no doubt about it. It's not great publicity. But you haven't heard about this anywhere else but this one page of signatures. And trust me, I'm sure they've been digging to find it. Now, if you start producing 50, 60, 70 pages of signatures that are fake, okay, now we got a ball game here. But the bigger story that no one wants to address is how the two parties, the duopoly, has created a system by design in which regular people cannot participate unless they do it under the banner of two political parties they don't agree with. What does that say about our state? Hey, one page of signatures were fraudulent. Great. Investigate it. If the person did it, lock them up, throw away the key. You got to treat it serious. It is serious. But the bigger story is the system itself that is designed to prevent regular people from participating in the government they are forced to fund. That's the story. And all of these people who stood behind Greg Ballard for years as the gold standard when he was mayor of Indianapolis now want to paint him like he's Dr. Richard Kimball in The Fugitive. It's really sad. It's really sad how invested the Republicans are in preventing people from running for public office. If you pay to administer elections in this state, you should have an opportunity to run for public office. And you shouldn't be required to spend $250,000 or more and have to hire an army of people to simply get on the ballot while you represent a plurality of Hoosiers. Hey, one of the biggest challenges homeowners face is coordinating the sale of their current home with the purchase of their next one. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps Central Indiana families explore bridge loan and home equity solutions that may provide flexibility during the transition. Whether you're moving up, downsizing, or need to access your home's equity, Gary takes the time to understand your goals and walk you through your options. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more. Loansbygary.homes to learn more. Gary Tedrow, Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 179207, equal housing lender. Hey guys, if you haven't done so yet, hit the thumbs up button. Like our feed, like what we're doing. Really helps us grow the program. We're going to take a break. When we come back, our old pal, indie reporter, Stephen Whitmer, is going to be with us. And Stephen has covered Diego Morales over the past couple of years unlike anybody else. I mean, he has spent a great deal of his life digging into Diego. And on the eve of the convention, I thought, who better? Because look, tomorrow may be the last day that we can say Diego Morales is a candidate for public office. And if we're going out with a bang. So Stephen will be with us to talk about the meltdown, which he caught on tape the last weekend. We'll talk about these mega donors to Diego that also donate to other prominent Republican politicians, which we've told you for years is why nobody will do anything about Diego. And we'll talk about these spot bonuses, these excessive spot bonuses that Diego's handed out over the years to his workers. We'll take a break. We will be back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Did you know Honeysuckle Hill in Brazil offers more than just a fabulous made-from-scratch meal at the bistro? It also has an adjoining cottage, great for a perfect, relaxing weekend away with a scenic waterfront view. The cottage offers 3 bedrooms, 2 baths with spa-like tile showers, full kitchen, living room with fireplace, laundry facilities, and a full deck overlooking the lake. And Andy, one of the owners, delivers breakfast in a picnic basket at 8:30 each morning. Plan the perfect weekend away at the scenic Honeysuckle Hill property on the water in beautiful Brazil. Book today by visiting their website at honeysucklehillb.com.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
I am the chief election officer, and I'm the guy who enforces and runs our elections in the office, period. Period. Let me be that clear. And by the way, I raise that money. And by the way, when any of you will donate to me, I give you an example. People say, who paid for your trip to India? I did. When any of you will pay for that, and then you can bring that up. If not, next time, you will bring that, then give me the check first. But I did raise the money. In 2022, I did. And let me be that clear. When you donate to me, and then you can talk. Otherwise, you just lied right there. And secondly, I run the elections in the Secretary of State's office, period. And then you know what? I went to hire Dustin Renner, who works in the Bartholomew County office, to help me because he worked as in the county clerk's office in Bartholomew County. Let me be that clear. You see, we need to set the record straight because these people, they're trying to throw things to make me look bad. No one is going to walk over me again, ever again. I'm going to fight.
Welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show, and when it's time to dig, well, this guy's the ultimate shovel. You know him as Indie Reporter on Twitter at Indie_Reporter_. Stephen Whitmer, he brings the receipts. Hello.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Now, nobody has gotten more information on Diego Morales over the years than you, sometimes to your own detriment.
I do feel like he's my brother from another mother now.
Okay, so you're the guy. You got us so much show content because you were the guy who filmed the meltdown at the last week in the 5th Congressional District event, right?
Yep.
Where he gets up there and he just bizarrely starts screaming about India and fight. And it sounded like, okay, you were there. And by the way, you laughing in the background is the best part of all of it.
Couldn't help myself. I was having too good of a time.
You were like, man, I'm sorry. I said, no, that makes it so much better. Before we get into what happened, it sounded like he was saying, unless you give him money, he's not even going to listen to you.
That's exactly what he said. No, that's exactly what he said. And like leading up to that event, well, by the way, shout out to Sarah Janice Brown for holding the event. Very nice lady.
And she invited you.
Yeah, personally. Oh, well, her friend invited me, but yeah. So leading up to that, everybody got like all the delegates, from what I heard, got a mass text about about Max. Right?
Ingling.
About Max Ingling. And
now this was the one, is this the one that alleged he's on the adult friend finder?
Yeah.
The fling,
Yep.
that he had the criminal record.
Yep. Criminal mischief.
Criminal charges.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, there was a link to a Substack article from Concerned Conservative, which I thought was kind of weird all of a sudden, and it was brought to you, and it was paid for or distributed by Allwyn Consulting.
Right.
And so Jacob Stewart, he did a little digging, found this guy Stephen Graves, and we're all trying to figure out, did Diego have anything to do with it? But he knew in that leaked video that he knew about Gotham, which is connected to that whole thing. But so anyway, leading up to that, there was already going to be some drama, and I already knew about it. And I get there, and everybody gives their speech, and then Kyle Pierce, who is representing Max Ingling.
Now, he's a state rep.
Yep, state rep over in, like, Madison County, I think.
Yeah. Now, my issue with Pierce is he's been there a while. He's paid for all the Diego stuff. He's voted in the affirmative.
Yep.
And then he acts like he's so concerned. We didn't seem too concerned when we were funding all the stuff.
Yeah. I mean, a fair point to it, and that's what I wanted to see is, like, and I watched today's show, and I was like, all right, who are the flip-floppers going to be? Because we all know. I was like, they were all hard on Diego. Then all of a sudden, Max shows up. And, I'm going to call balls and strikes. And that's what we do.
Right.
And so Kyle got done. And he brought up at the very last point was when 45 days before the election, Diego did not have $1 million.
In 2022.
In 2022.
Okay, because Diego likes to talk about how he raises all this money, right? Yeah.
To be fair to Diego, going into 2022, he had just over $400,000 in the coffer.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
But it's not $1 million.
No, definitely not. And so I see Diego, he's off in the corner. I'm recording it, and all of a sudden, when Kyle brings up the point of the money, Diego just starts shaking his head. That's why I had to pan the camera over. Yeah, that's what sent him off. Was the money. That's why he kept bringing up the money.
So Pierce was basically saying the party raised that money for you, or the party helped you get your money.
The rest of it.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not some fundraising juggernaut that you're presenting.
Yeah.
That's what set him off.
That's what I think set him off, because I'm watching Kyle and I'm watching Diego, and he's just like steaming. He's seething. He's like, no. And then
That's so weird.
Yeah. And so Kyle gets off the microphone, and then Diego just beelines it. And I'm there with a couple of other people. I'm like, oh, this is going to happen. You guys just watch. This is going to happen. And, sure thing. And it feels
that's
like
why he was saying, I raised that money.
Yeah.
That's what he was talking about.
And so I looked at it every quarter because it's the election year. And I was looking at it. It's like, well, he did pretty good up until the convention time. And he only raised like $13,000, something like that. I have the notes on here.
Isn't it wild how much money matters to him? Like,
oh my God, yeah.
He was in that event in McCordsville talking about it. And but you heard all the delegates today were talking about it. To me, that the money is irrelevant. It's not like the party's not going to let the candidate be funded.
Exactly. So like right after, during that time of the convention, he only raised like $13,000. Right after he wins the convention, $300,000.
Oh.
And we know it's all from like the dealerships and the business people.
Very generous donors.
Very
right?
generous. And so Kyle isn't wrong though. He didn't have $1 million in the coffers by that entire year in 2022, or during that time altogether going into 2022, it was $1.2 million.
It's so weird that it set him off like that,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
And the unhinged response of it, I said he was like Steve Buscemi in The Wedding Singer, where he runs up on stage and grabs the mic. And,
Yeah.
and what was the reaction of the people there when he was doing it?
Awkward. Yeah. There are a couple of people like, I can't believe this is happening. I'm like, oh, I can.
So he definitely went back to India, which means that's a sore spot
Yeah,
for him.
and Kyle didn't even bring up India.
And he even said that,
He
didn't
even
he?
said it in the background, because Kyle was probably like 15 feet from me, and I was able to catch it. And he was like, what are you talking about? I didn't even bring up India.
Do you have a... Well, no, I'm not going to ask you about theories anymore. No.
We learned our lesson on that.
Do you get a feeling of where the delegates are? Because obviously we had them all on, and I got a sense that Shelton is kind of everybody's number 2 pick.
Mm-hmm.
But how much support does Diego actually have?
I think outside of Central Indiana, he has a lot of support.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's not something where it's over for him.
No, I don't think so. But from what I have heard, a lot of the people that were on the edge of Diego are now flipping towards Shelton or Max.
Yeah.
They're looking for their new shiny object.
His delegate, Ryan Secord,
Mm-hmm.
talked about the idea of, I don't want to be told what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it does feel very Banksy Rokita telling everybody what to do. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. I'm hoping for a lot of fireworks. I'm hoping for there to be a duel, maybe.
An actual duel?
Maybe a jousting match. That would be cool. I mean, we're going to figure out medieval style. I'm okay with that. All I know, I just hope that I'm there. I'm hoping that I don't get kicked out. That is really my goal. I got to be on my best.
You're going?
Yeah, I'll be there.
You gave money.
Yeah, I gave money so I could be there, and they have the right to refund my money. It's like no soup for you, basically. Give you back the money, and then takes the soup away.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're going to do. But I'm going to be there on Friday night and Saturday.
It's so long. It was just too long for me.
It's 4 rounds. I think it's going to go 3 rounds.
I could not miss the whole day of the U.S. Open.
Yeah, Father's Day weekend.
And it's Father's Day weekend. But my thing with my family is every year, the only thing I tell my wife I want is to be left alone.
Yeah.
So that's all I want. I don't need a card. I don't need anything.
That's my gift.
Just you watch my kid for the day.
Yeah.
And I want to go watch golf.
I want a conveyor belt of Arby's and the TV.
That's such a long trip, though. Why are we doing it in Fort Wayne?
I'm not sure. Somebody threw out some tinfoil hat theory. Is once they found out that Shelton was going to be running because Knox County is like a long ways away. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not buying that. I'm thinking they just couldn't find anywhere.
Do these people outside of the Beltway, the donut counties, do they just not believe the stuff about Diego, or do they not care? Because it is corruption/scammers are us. Like, do they not believe it?
I sometimes wonder if they just have their head in the sand, or they're not really in it.
Yeah.
Like, they'll go to the Lincoln Day dinners like, oh, look at this guy. He's really sweet to me, and he gives me a plate full of macaroni and cheese or whatever.
Stephen Whitmer's our guest, Indy reporter, at Indy_reporter_ on Twitter. Nobody digs into Diego like you, and you have been looking into these spot bonuses.
Oh, yeah.
So he has given out, and he got in, I say big trouble, but then they just gave him all the money anyway.
Yeah.
Because he went in front of the budget committee, and they were all mad about the spot bonuses. And these are just random times he just gives money out to people, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you find about the spot bonuses?
It was like $370,000 worth of spot bonuses, and they have it. So if you guys, a little backup, back when he had the budget hearing, Ed Delaney was asking him, just grilling him the entire time.
State rep from Indianapolis, Democrat, yes.
Yep. And he was asking about the spot bonuses, hiring relatives, and so Diego sent out, or his office sent out, an email explaining all of it. And he's like, well, we spent this much amount of money on spot bonuses, but we have people doing extra jobs, so technically we saved like $100,000 or $200,000. And the only one that we really did that the highest amount at one time was $12,000. I'm like, yeah, but that's a death by 1,000 cuts. So what are we talking about here?
Well, do you think he has any idea what he's doing?
Like,
if you were to ask him how to Secretary of State, could he?
I
Could
don't
he do
think
it?
so. I am very surprised of the team that he has around him right now are doing a tremendous job,
Yeah.
though. Yeah. I think the upper tier people, and I wish his handlers would have like got a hold of him, like, hey, you can't do this, right? You can't go to India all of a sudden. But oh yeah, there was an email on that too.
On India.
Yeah.
We're never going to find out who paid.
No, absolutely not. No matter what.
Think about how serious that must be, that he's willing to go down
Mm-hmm.
and protect who paid for India.
Yeah.
Like, he's about to potentially lose his job, and he's totally unemployable for the most part.
Yeah.
And he's like, whoever paid for whatever is strong enough that he's going to protect it to the end.
Well, he does have like 1.2 million in his coffer right now, so I'm sure he's going to go invest in something. But there was an email that was given out to the Secretary of State from the Appropriations Committee, and they said, "Hey, we want you to be here on March 18th." And that was the time that he was in India.
Right.
And they replied back within like a couple of hours, like, hey, we already have this trip planned. Can we change it for one before or after? And they took like a couple of weeks to get back. And then they said, no, you got to be here. So, I mean, to be fair, they did give him a heads up. At the same time, it's like, what are you doing in another country for 10 days?
Think about whatever was in the country, how strong that was, that he knew, according to you, he knew this hearing was coming up. And he was nah, I'm going to India.
I'm going to India anyway.
All right. Okay. So the spot bonuses really bother me. Like, we did this story yesterday about the IEDC guy, David Adams, and he got $75,000, and then he's like, goodbye, good night, everyone, I quit, after he gets the 75 grand. The other guy who's in charge of land acquisition gets a $20,000. Why are we giving out bonuses like this? Like, you're a state employee, you do the job. It's one thing to say, hey, you exceeded expectations, here's a few $100s, whatever, but like in the tens of thousands of dollars, that seems a bit excessive.
At the very most, they should be getting a pizza party. These random bonuses for state employees where they're already getting like a pension, they're getting the benefits of everything.
Right.
Probably great health care.
Yeah.
That we're paying for.
I've been a state employee. Leaving was one of the dumbest moves I ever made. Well, I mean, the job was awful, but okay. So you've also dug into, because one of the points I've made is one of the reasons that they will not take down Diego. Like, they're very kid gloves with being critical of him. I mean, you have the Attorney General going, there were too many scandals. Like, plural. What are we? You're not investigating any of them. You're not, like, there were too many scandals.
Yeah.
Is because of the money.
Yeah.
And that the money that touches him touches so many other people. And I was like, hey, can you just find one or two egregious examples of how much money touches? What did you come up with?
All right. So MTX Group is probably the biggest one. I'm going to give you the second for the bronze medal. The silver medal is Maverick Quantum. So Maverick Quantum, by chance, actually has a lot of the same employees that used to work at MTX Group. Now, they got a $1.5 million contract from the Secretary of State. Funny enough, Vamshi.
It was no bid too, right?
I'm probably not. MTX Group was definitely the no bid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because and I may be confusing them, because the Capital Chronicle had an article on the Maverick guy, the CEO of Maverick.
Yeah, and that was the guy who gave $50,000 to Diego, but also $20,000 to Braun. There's like three big connections when we talk about all of this. It's Rokita, it's Braun, and it's Diego.
And Braun's like, I'm neutral in this.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, they gave me money. What am I supposed to do?
All right, that's the silver.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the gold goes to MTX. Now, MTX Group also has their own PAC. And they put money into it, but they haven't done anything with it. But Das Noble, who's the guy, I think the president or CEO, he gave Diego $100,000, Rokita $15,000, and Braun $105,000. But it doesn't just stop there, because there was also another guy, Nicholas Whitley, who also works for MTX Group, because that's where you really have to dive through the campaign reports.
Right.
It's not just the one person or the group; it's the people that work there.
Oh, yes.
They individually start donating. So Braun got $10,000 and Diego got $35,000. And by the way, MTX Group got $5.9 million worth of contracts.
How much?
$5.9 million. I just double checked it before I came
And
here.
so you pull all this stuff off public available
Indiana
records.
Transparency Portal.
Right,
Yeah.
and you live on that site.
Oh man, yeah.
You live there.
I have to go through multiple VPNs so they know that I'm not looking at it.
It's kind of strange that, like, the Secretary of State in some cases gets more than the governor or the Attorney General. Like, that's a pretty administrative-based office pre-Diego, and it seems like you're laying out in some cases, multiple cases, he gets more than the governor or the attorney general.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting, but it's all pay to play. How do I get into there? There was a
and it's all over state government, right?
Yeah, it's all over.
We're picking on Diego, but this stuff is everywhere.
Even in Indy too. I mean, the people donating to Indy are giving it to both sides. They just want a pass into the party.
Okay, so Stephen Whitmer, Indy reporter, is our guest. You'll be at the convention to the dismay of many. Dude, you'll be a rock star there.
I hope so.
There's going to be a lot of people that will...
I was getting mean mugged at that event, so I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of mean muggings at this one.
Who's winning?
It's going to be Shelton or Max. That's where I'm at.
I said you have to pick someone right now who's winning.
Ooh.
I won't hold it against you.
I'm gonna go Shelton.
I think Shelton will win.
I think Shelton has the strongest chance of winning. Yeah.
A lot of people seem to like him on the second ballot.
Yeah. I mean, my goal is for Diego to get taken out on the first ballot.
Oh, you want Diego going down?
Yeah.
See, I want Diego to win. It's best, and it would be best for you too.
It'd be a lot of good content for the next 5 months.
Okay, real quick before I let you go, you hate Ballard.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Ballard at all.
Okay, so I'm going to try to walk you off a cliff here, right? You don't like Ballard because of the stuff he did as mayor?
Well, I mean, yeah, and I wasn't even around here, but
right.
the more I was digging into, I'm like...
I was like, how did the cricket field harm you? You weren't even here.
Yeah, I wasn't even here yet. I was looking into him, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, this guy is basically like a Shreve. He's like a moderate Democrat running as a Republican.
Yeah, and he was going to get elected in Indianapolis.
Exactly, and I get that part. Yeah, that's fine. I don't see him as like a 71-year-old who's past his prime, who's already probably has a bad name. Even Democrats don't like him in Indianapolis. Like, I just don't see where he would benefit the Secretary of State, and he's spending $50,000 a month on trying to get signatures.
But don't you see from because
I see from all the points.
Right?
I understand
the
it.
Joy if he gets that 10%. I'm not saying I'm a Ballard fan. I'm not saying I think he did a great job. I think he did infinitely better than the guy in there now.
Yeah,
but think of the fun we can have.
I mean,
there'd be 4 years. We have a party with primary ballot access to drive the Republicans crazy.
We would never run low on fuel, that's for sure, with Ballard in there.
Sometimes you got to see the bigger picture.
Yeah, it is a content machine for sure.
All right. So before we let you go, do you think that Bai can win?
Oh, yeah. But I did read Briggs's article.
Yeah.
Briggsy.
You and Briggs are like...
We're going to be frenemies like you and Gentry soon. Or just know it.
You have to be nice to Briggs now because I write for the Star.
I know. So I mean, when I get an invite from Briggs to write for the Star, then we can be friends. But I do think that I see where Briggs is coming from, and it totally changed my mind. I'm like, wow, you might have some disaffected Democrat voters. And by the way, Lori Schillings is running. And that
can she get 2%?
Well, Ballard's not on the ticket.
Yeah. I'm saying if Ballard's there.
Probably. Because you have all the hardcore libertarians that are just going to vote libertarian no matter what. And I think there's enough of those. I think Ballard's going to pull the boomer voters.
Yeah.
On both sides.
And I think he'll get the signatures.
We'll see.
Had a little problem, allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
County,
yeah.
which we will have already gotten into on our show by the time this airs tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Bai has a good chance of winning, but Briggs makes a good point of like some people just like if it's not their guy, then they're not going to vote for it. But I think Blythe Potter, people were snubbing Blythe Potter, and I said it from the beginning, like, dude, she's like an extreme Destiny Wells, and people in Marion County love that stuff.
Yeah, and look, she was infinitely nicer than Destiny Wells.
Yeah.
Like, she was a very nice, pleasant
Destiny had a good message.
If Destiny Wells could have a personality transplant, it would have been Blythe Potter.
It's the crazy eyes, that's why.
All right. Stephen Whitmer at Indy_reporter_ on Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back. You're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freeze-thaw cycles, road salt, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in an expensive repair. That's where Seal Now comes in. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals that can help you protect your outdoor surfaces. Got a worn-out fence or deck? They can revive the look while providing long-term protection. Call today, 317-548-2002, or visit sealnow.com. Not only will you get a free estimate, but mention you heard about Seal Now on the Rob Kendall Show and receive 20% off any long-term sealing project.
Is the inside of your house a total mess, like a complete dumpster fire? Call AJ's Picture Perfect Cleaning. When you walk into your house after using AJ's Picture Perfect cleaning, you will see and smell the difference. They take great pride in their workers and treat your home like their own. All cleaners pass through a background check and drug screening. Call today and mention you heard about AJ's Picture Perfect cleaning on The Rob Kendall Show, and you will get an incredible $50 off your first clean. AJ's Picture Perfect cleaning serves all of Central Indiana. Book your appointment today by calling 317-530-8148. 317-530-8148.
If authentic wood-smoked barbecue is your thing, Double D's Barbecue in Clayton is the place for you. Owners Dennis and Tina Duncan, along with their son Garrett, are from Memphis. So when it comes to barbecue, they're not screwing around. No pellet smokers, no roasters, just authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue. All of Double D's food is cooked fresh daily, and it's all made from scratch. Double D's Barbecue, located at 40 and 39 in Clayton, is open all day Wednesday through Saturday, but get there early because once they're sold out, they're done. Check out the full menu, ribs, brisket, and more at ddbbq317.com.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Hope you're having a great Friday. Thanks for spending it with us. If you haven't done so yet, give us that little thumbs up, like the feed, like the show. It really helps us grow the program. Also, don't forget, tickets to the live show, June the 27th, Mad Hatter Comedy Club, Event Center in Greenwood. Come hang out with us. It's going to be a fun, intimate evening together. We're going to have a great time. Few tickets still left. You can get them by heading over to robkendallshow.com. robkendallshow. Just 8 days away, by the way, so don't wait on that. robkendallshow.com, live link to the tickets there at the top of the page, and come hang out with us June the 27th. Hey, you guys got a leaky chimney, water in the basement, cracks around the exterior of your home? Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants is your authority for chimney repair, tuck pointing, foundation repair, crawl space to basement conversions, basement waterproofing, and more. Bramwell Mackay doesn't offer quick patches. Their team of 40-year master masons and industry experts address the root cause and provide solutions that last lifetimes. Your home is one of your biggest investments. Treat it that way. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY, BramwellMackay.com, your masonry, foundation, and chimney specialists. All right, so this video we're about to play for you, it surfaced... audio. It's audio of a video. How about that? It surfaced 2 days ago. It is the mayor of Shelbyville issuing an apology for the comments that he made that were caught on tape of him being very derogatory about people who are opposing the massive data center campus in Shelbyville. And obviously, as Jason did that great expose where he went to Shelbyville and talked to the people there, there is just a lot of people. There are just a lot of people who are very, very upset about this proposed data center campus. And they've been very passionate. They've been very well organized. There's a lot of hard feelings with the Planning Commission, giving the project a negative recommendation, then the council overriding it, and the council using land, owned by the city. And this mayor was caught on tape saying really horrible things about people and about the homes of people who oppose the data center, and there was intense pushback. Now, what's odd is that it took him so long to put this out. What's odd is it took him so long to put this out because this has been, 2 weeks ago now, right? Almost, basically. And then when you watch this, so that's one part of it. And then when you watch it, the other part of the video is it doesn't look right. Like something looks off about this video. Now, I've seen some people say, oh, it looks like it's AI. I don't know what it is. The video looks very weird. Like, I don't know if the way it was filmed or whatever, but this is the mayor of Shelbyville. I think he's in his office. He's sitting at a desk, and the actual video itself was like 1:57. Yeah, it's very weird. Like the mouth doesn't match up to the words. It's very off. It's very odd. Yeah, it's very strange. But anyway, here is the audio of the mayor of Shelbyville apologizing for his comments about people opposing the data centers.
Good morning. I want to speak directly to the people of Shelbyville. The comments I made in a recent video were wrong. They were disrespectful, they were hurtful, and they did not reflect the respect that every resident of this community deserves. I take full responsibility for what I said. I am ashamed of my words, and I sincerely apologize to all of you. Shelbyville is my home. I love this community, and I care deeply about the people that live here. Our community is filled with hardworking families, dedicated city employees, business owners, homeowners, and residents who care deeply about our city. My words failed to demonstrate that. As mayor, I have always believed that elected officials should be held to a higher standard. In this instance, I failed to meet that standard. I believe I must recognize this moment, take an awakening, and promise to do better. Our city has credible opportunities ahead of us.
So look, I told you guys this last week when all of this came out. This guy getting caught on tape, whether you live in Shelbyville or you don't, is really valuable because it gives you a real insight into how elected officials view you. That's what you should take away from this. This guy speaking, and I believe, again, he was doing it in a public place, two people who I think he knew were not on his side. But it gives you a real insight into how these elected officials actually view you and what you actually are to them. I don't believe for a second this guy's sorry for what he said. I think he's sorry he got caught. I think he's sorry there was the backlash that's not been good for him. But I don't think for a second that this guy is really sorry about what he said. You have to understand that many of these elected officials view you as nothing more than a piggy bank. Shut up and pay. That's what you're good for. Shut up and pay. Look, the people of Shelbyville, because it's not like there's anything untoward going on with the remonstrators are doing. It's a very controversial project. It had a negative recommendation from the Planning Commission, which is in charge of land use in the city. And there's a lot of fear about data centers. There's nothing controversial about opposing a project that your own Planning Commission steps up and says, no, that's not for us. Even if the Planning Commission said, okay, if you're a resident of the area, you're entitled to have any opinion you want. You live there, you pay taxes there, you're entitled to have your opinion. And the mayor is entitled to disagree with you. But there's a way you handle it. And when you're an elected official, you represent all of your taxpayers. Every single one of them. When you're an elected official, you represent every single one of your taxpayers. And you don't have to like every one of them. And I'm okay with going at individual people that are acting like idiots. But with a broad brush, to say all of these people who have no data center signs in their yards, they have expletive homes. Well, that's totally outlandish. I mean, Jason went to the neighborhood of the organizer, Connie Lindsay, right, Jason? Well, those homes look pretty nice to me. As a former elected official, I recognize nice homes, and they all look very nice to me. I'm guessing those homes in that neighborhood were all $500,000 and up. Brick, big lots. I mean, it's totally ridiculous what the guy said. But it shows you the entitlement that a guy like that has. Who are you to question me? Who are you to challenge me? And until we get our heads around the idea that this is the way that elected officials view us, not all of them, but a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. They view us as nothing more than a piggy bank, an ATM machine. Shut up and pay. We make the choices. We decide what you're going to do, and then you do it. The people of Shelbyville, hundreds of them, thousands of them who are opposing this data center, have valid concerns. They have valid concerns, as do other communities that are protesting or opposition to data centers. The fact that it took this guy basically 2 weeks to issue that apology, it tells you he's not really sorry. He's just sorry that he got caught. And so this is why when we talk about you facing your government head on, you don't have a choice because this is what they think of you. He didn't apologize because he feels bad about it. He apologized because he wants it to go away. We have to start taking control of the situations. And by taking control of the situation, I mean recognizing that when we're dealing with governments, more often than not, you're dealing with people who don't like you, who don't want you there, who don't want you around, who don't want to listen to you. And you have to plan to fight back, push back accordingly. Hey guys, it's Friday, and that means Double D's Southern Barbecue in Clayton, Mississippi, farm-raised catfish is their special today. You guys know that if you're looking for authentic wood-smoked Memphis-style barbecue, Double D Southern Barbecue in Clayton is your place to go for lunch or dinner. It's right there on 40 and 39, a little bit of a drive, totally worth it. They've been winners of best ribs and best sauces at Ribfest in Hendricks County. They are Elvis-themed on the inside. The decor is Elvis-themed. And when it comes to ribs, brisket, and more, they're not screwing around. As we said, they have daily specials. They're open Wednesday through Saturday. Daily specials. And tonight, it's the Mississippi farm-raised catfish, as is tomorrow's. Check out the whole menu. The ribs, the brisket, and more at ddbbq317.com. ddbbq317.com. Okay, this is a crazy story, guys. And I am fascinated to get your opinion on this because I see both sides. And so, for those of you who don't know, we wrap up our show each day with the YouTube chat in which producer Jason reads the best YouTube comments of the day, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. And in order to be a YouTube chatter, all you got to do is subscribe to our channel. So if you haven't done that yet, hit that subscribe button and then get in the chat. Hundreds and hundreds of great people, great conversation, 3 hours a day. All right, so this story comes to us from the Capitol Chronicle, and I'm curious to get your opinion on this because I actually see both sides of this. It's a wild story involving the Attorney General, Todd Rokita. From the Capitol Chronicle. A Fulton County judge has rejected efforts to disqualify Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita's office from a consumer fraud lawsuit stemming from Rokita's own purchase of a used personal watercraft. This story's crazy, guys. And I'm going to ask you some questions throughout this. The June 8 ruling from Fulton County Judge Gregory Heller allows the case to move forward despite arguments raised by the defendant's attorneys that Rokita is both the consumer whose transaction helped trigger the state's lawsuit and a likely witness in the case. All right, so here's what happened, okay? The Attorney General's office, of which Rokita obviously is the head as the Attorney General, sued Rochester resident Jess Sampson in December. And the Attorney General's office alleges that he repeatedly violated Indiana's consumer protection and vehicle merchandising laws by advertising vehicles, watercraft parts, through Facebook Marketplace without required licenses, operating an unlicensed salvage recycler, title jumping vehicle ownership records, and making false representations to buyers. Here's what happened. Rokita initially hired Sampson to repair a Yamaha jet ski in 2025, paying $1,400 and supplying approximately $700 worth of parts. When those repairs were, quote, unable to be completed, according to the complaint, Sampson allegedly encouraged Rokita to instead purchase a 2001 Sea-Doo RX 951 for $3,000. Okay, let's stop right here. Regardless of the merits of the case, the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, is just hiring random dudes off Facebook Marketplace? Really? You're the Attorney General, and you're just like looking for random dudes on Facebook to repair your jet ski? You'd think as the Attorney General, I mean, he does make six figures. You'd take it to some sort of authorized dealer, right? Somewhere you could get a receipt. Hey, Todd, thanks for your business. I don't know. I find that kind of wild that apparently the Attorney General was like shifting through Facebook Marketplace looking for people to repair his jet ski. I mean, I get everybody wants to save a buck, but you're the Attorney General. State attorneys further contended in court documents that Simpson repeatedly assured Rokita through text messages that the watercraft's engine had been completely rebuilt and contained numerous new components. So basically what happened here is, so Rokita finds this guy on, I guess, Facebook Marketplace, which again just blows my mind. Can you imagine you show up to the guy's house? Oh, it's Todd Rokita. It's the Attorney General. Maybe he didn't know. I don't know. But that the Attorney General was like cruising around Facebook Marketplace looking for people to fix his jet ski. This guy tells him, okay, it's going to cost X amount and these parts. Rokita then gives him the parts, buys the parts, pays him the money, and then it's unable to be fixed. Okay, red flag number one, right? Again, why is the Attorney General using randos on Facebook Marketplace? There have to be authorized dealers where you can go get this done. Now, Rob Kendall using a rando on Facebook Marketplace, that fits. Todd Rokita, I don't think so. So then he convinces him to buy this Sea-Doo RX 951 for $3,000. The complaint highlights multiple text messages that prosecutors say were used to market the watercraft to Rokita. In one exchange, Sampson allegedly told Rokita, quote, I have been completely through it with every single piece of the engine being brand new other than the block, so I know what's been done. And that the Sea-Doo had, quote, had a completely rebuilt engine. I'm just picturing Rokita like texting with some guy. Hey, man, I poured through it. It's going to be great, baby. Toddski, you're going to love it, man. You're going to be so happy with your Sea-Doo. It's kind of weird, right? Like that the Attorney General is text messaging randos. Hey, have you rebuilt my Sea-Doo yet? After purchasing the watercraft in August of 25, Rokita claims he discovered it required major repairs. The Attorney General's office argued in the complaint that the engine had not been rebuilt as presented and ultimately required thousands of dollars in additional work. The state is now seeking $11,012.33 in restitution on Rokita's behalf, along with civil penalties, cost, and permanent injunction. Okay, so this is where it gets weird, right? Rokita is the Attorney General. Rokita is not going through this in his own civil lawsuit. He's using the office of the Attorney General, of which he is the Attorney General, to bring the hammer down on this guy. And this is where the controversy is. I mean, it's one thing to say, okay, this guy ripped me off. Again, Probably not a great idea to be buying Sea-Doos and having Sea-Doos repaired off randos on Facebook, Todd. Like, you're the attorney general. 6 figures. Good salary. Right? Let's just not do that again. But instead of going through the complaint himself, through the court system, he said, this is whatever, fraud or whatever they're saying. I'm going to have the attorney general's office do it for me. And so people are saying, is it right that the attorney general can use the office that he's in charge of to essentially give enhanced pressure through the legal system to get a desired result? Sampson acknowledged advertising vehicles and watercraft through Facebook Marketplace, but said he advertised approximately 6 vehicles and 3 watercraft through a shared Facebook account used by him and his girlfriend. According to a written narrative provided through his attorney, Sampson maintains that he repeatedly warned Rokita about break-in procedures for the newly built engine and later concluded that the engine failed because those instructions were not followed. So he's trying to say Rokita's incompetence broke the water, the jet ski. He's trying to say, hey, I told him not to do this. He did it. It broke. It's not my fault. Sampson's attorney told the Capitol Chronicle Thursday that he believes the case should have been handled as a private civil matter rather than through the Attorney General's Consumer Protection Division. He noted that Rokita is the only consumer specifically identified in the complaint and argued the dispute could have been pursued through small claims. Right. This is where people are upset. People are saying, would Todd Rokita's office have taken on this guy if Todd Rokita weren't the victim, allegedly? I think the answer is probably no. I don't see Todd Rokita getting involved in a Sea-Doo Facebook Marketplace issue if he's not the victim, the alleged victim. Quote, he's using taxpayers' funds to try to litigate a grievance that he has over $3,000, that he has over a $3,000 purchase, Sampson's attorney said. Why didn't he just file his own small claim? Attorney General Todd Rokita was unfortunately personally the victim of deceptive sales practices and reported the matter to his Consumer Protection Division, a spokesman said to the Capitol Chronicle. Can you imagine that? Rokita walks in, hey, I'm a victim. Somebody get on this. The division investigated and found potential violations across multiple consumer transactions. Again, why is the Attorney General doing business with a rando on Facebook Marketplace? Sampson's attorney went on to say he's trying to short-circuit the civil process by using the sledgehammer of the Attorney General over a Sea-Doo. You cannot use your public office for personal profit. Just because the statute says we can do this doesn't mean it's ethical. So what do you guys think? Should the Attorney General, Todd Rokita, be able to use his office to file a claim, to pursue charges, to pursue litigation against someone who has wronged him personally? What do you guys think? Let me know in the Facebook chat. Jason will read those comments later today. Let me tell you before we go to a break about Lauren Wilson. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. She is a fighter. She's a bulldog. She's local. She's an Indiana lifer. She'd love to get to work for you. Military vet. Lauren Wilson wants to be your advocate. If you're buying or selling your next home, put someone to work for you who can get the job done. Get a plan in place. Planning is so important when it comes to buying and selling a home. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. All right, we're going to take a break. Niki Kelly from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle is going to join us when we come back. All sorts of stuff to get to. We've got convention drama. We've got the AES bill hike and Braun being upset at the IURC. We got the Ballard signature stuff. Whole bunch of stuff to get to with Niki Kelly from the Indiana Capitol Chronicle. When we come back, you're watching Rob Kendall Show.
Hi, I'm Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. I would love to get to know you. I know that buying and selling a home is a really big deal. You need a plan in place so you can succeed. And that's where I come in. If you are buying, let me help you find that perfect home. And if you are selling, let me help you find that perfect buyer. Look, we're all Rob Kendall Show fans here. That's why I'd love to get to know you. I'm Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties, an Army veteran and a Hoosier through and through. Call me at 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290.
With a lakefront view in beautiful Brazil, the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage is a little out of the way, but totally worth the trip. Down home, made from scratch food, just like the good old days at Grandma's. When you visit the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage, you'll leave more at peace than when you came in. Open 5 to 8 for dinner on Friday and Saturday, and Sundays 11 to 1:30 for the buffet. You must experience the Honeysuckle Hill Bistro and Cottage. Call 812-443-3003. 812-443-3003.
Are you seeing cracks in mortar, moisture working through walls, facade or structural failure beginning to surface? Bramwell Mackay sets the standard for exterior and structural building solutions. Our 40-year master masons and industry experts address moisture intrusion, failing foundations, masonry deterioration, and more. From preserving historic landmarks to addressing modern building envelope issues, Bramwell Mackay delivers full-spectrum service with white-glove professionalism. In Indianapolis, call 812-33-BRICK. 812-33-BRICK.
It is the Rob Kendall Show. It's the day before the Republican State Convention. Let's get to the bottom of the latest, joined by one of the best in the business, the great Niki Kelly. Hello.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm doing just great. So let's start with all the drama. Look, I've been paying attention, I don't know, 15 years, a little bit more. You've been at this 25 or more. You started when you were 3. And I don't remember anyone this wild before the convention even started. What say you?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. I mean, there were definitely some contentious convention fights before, but I also think that was lots of social media. So now all this stuff can get out so much quicker with texts and screenshots. And so everyone can see all the allegations immediately. And it has definitely made this race very, very interesting and frankly, sometimes a little depressing at how negative it has been.
Well, I mean, we've spanned the gauntlet. We got one guy accused of crimes, the same guy accused of being on an adult hookup site. We got one guy accused of peddling sex toys in the kids' school. We got one guy melting down over a trip to a foreign country and how much money he raised the first time he ran. I feel like we've spanned the gauntlet of silliness.
Yet no one's accusing Jamie Reitnauer of anything. So maybe that helps her, but we'll see.
So we had 4 delegates on today, one for each person, and their answers were fascinating. Not who they were voting for, I knew that, but almost every one of them, some of them said it outright, and then the one who wouldn't, I forced them to describe the person, and it was Shelton. They all basically said Shelton was their second guy. This feels very 2014 to me, where Kelly Mitchell wasn't really anybody's first, but she was everybody's second and ended up winning. What are you hearing?
Yeah, honestly, I was just chatting with some delegates in the hall here at the Statehouse, and you, a lot of people still think Diego Morales can pull it out. If you talk more in the inside bubble, a lot of people think Max Engling has it sewed up. I think, some of it will depend on how many people show up and also how many people stay through multiple ballots. So that will definitely play a role.
Diego is interesting to me because when we had his delegate on, he's like, you don't know outside the bubble, Rob. He's like, there's lots of people who love Diego who don't hear about any of this stuff. They think like the news just makes it all up about Diego. If there's a lot of people that believe that, he could still win.
Look, I'm quite sure that there are delegates out there who support Diego who either just, maybe they're such supporters they don't read the negative stuff or they just sort of discount it. I think all the reporting that I've seen has been very responsible, using documents and, real state records to prove issues. But also, I think a lot of delegates see this vote, and I think we saw it, with Holly Sullivan when he won the first time, as the one time for them to have their say no matter what the topic is. And if that means they're gonna, you know, it's just their one time to use their vote the way they want, and they're not going to be pushed into something else.
Yeah, like the delegate who was for Rittenhour, she was basically like, I asked her, what about Rittenhour? And she launched into a bunch of stuff that had nothing to do with Secretary of State. She's mad about
See?
a whole bunch of stuff. And I said, so your vote is really almost like a protest of everything. And she was like, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what some of the people I've talked to too. They might not like something else. Some of them, even federal issues will come up. And this is their one time they get to really have, their importance. I mean, obviously they vote during normal elections, but that's a much larger base. This is just like what, about 1,800 people, depending on who all shows up. So they can have a lot more impact.
Okay, before we get off of this and on to the other fabulous reporting at the Capitol Chronicle, who's winning? Who do you think is going to win?
I do not know. I cannot make that, honestly.
What a great reporter. No
I'm not
answer for you.
I'm not a prognosticator. And also, I think like if it was an election, I'd be far more likely to tell you, but delegates just are their own kind of person and so I think they just have a different temperament. And so we'll see.
All right, on the other side of things, or I guess in the middle of things, is Greg Ballard. You guys had a big article about the signatures he had acquired, 35,000 some. Then
Yep.
the news comes out today about these alleged forged signatures. Now, Ballard's statement looked like he said, look, it was 10 out of 35,000. We fired the guy or got rid of the guy or whatever phrases they used, which would seem to lead that they were backing up the allegation. It's not a great look for him, but my gosh, he's got to get 37,000 signatures. The idea that 0.002 or whatever the number is were bad. I mean,
Yeah.
my thing is the barrier to access is just ridiculously high, and nobody wants to talk about that.
I mean, it seems like all sides are kind of saying that, yeah, these were problematic signatures and they're definitely being looked into. I would like to know more about this person. In other words, were they an independent on their own trying to help Ballard out? Were they working for the company that they've hired to gather signatures? I mean, I do think, hopefully some more information will come out on that. But yeah, I do think it does put a lot of pressure on verifying the rest of the signatures, though. And so, especially people on the Republican and Democrat side who are already going to be looking at those signatures closely are really going to be scrutinizing them.
Because he told you guys in the article he's getting those signatures. I mean, what else is he going to say? But he said he's getting the signatures.
Yeah, and I'm told from other people that he has more than 40,000. They haven't submitted them all yet. Even that though, I assumed that they would have to turn in like 50 to make sure they would get the 37 because I don't think people realize how many people sign these petitions. And I'm not even saying they're doing anything knowingly. It's just maybe they think they're registered, but something happened to their registration. If they haven't voted in a while, it could have become inactive, things like that. Or maybe their address doesn't match, or maybe they signed two of them and don't realize, oh, well, that counts as a duplicate. So a lot of stuff goes into the verifying these signatures.
As having been a part of that with Stutzman in 16, and that was 4,500. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a gargantuan task. Is there any talk? I mean, I hope this shines some light on 37,000 sounds a bit much. I don't want my ballot looking like a CVS receipt like California, but 37,000 sounds like a lot of signatures.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some talk about, why is it so different than, for instance, the Senate, the amount you have to gather for the 4,500. And also, like, on the other side, you can gather them all from like 3 counties if you want. Whereas, with the Ballard race, you can. But whereas when you're running for the Senate, you have to make sure you cover all the congressional districts, at least some. So I've heard talk both ways since this campaign has been going on.
You guys had a great article today in the Capitol Chronicle. We led our show with it about the AES rate hike. Braun is very mad. I told you offline, I said, can he be mad when the guy you appointed cast the deciding vote? I mean, it was his guy, Andy Zay, who was the 3 and the 3-1.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal though, and I think this is yes, he obviously put new members on the board, but there are still laws that govern these rate cases. They can't just ignore a 70-page order and the data that's submitted, the the commentary that's submitted. And so let's say they did. Let's say a utility provided all the required, ramifications or justifications for what they want to do. If they just then still denied everything, guess what? That utility can ask a judge to step in and review the decision, because there are laws and administrative regulations that have been in place for decades that govern these rate cases. So it's not as easy as just you vote no every time, because that might not, fit the actual statutes that we have on the books.
There's such a huge difference, though. And I think that's what people are looking at. It's like the consumer advocate was like, not only should you get nothing, you should get 21 million back. And then the board is, and then AES is asking for 190 some million. And then the board's like, well, we'll give you 70. And I think people are just like, what is going on here?
Yeah, and then also it's confusing because this was a rate case, and on top of that, utilities can also seek adjustments for, fuel cost adjustments and storm, different adjustments. And so we've also got that going on. We've got it going up for the rate case. We've got it going up for fuel cost adjustments. I kind of wish it was like, at least just one big number instead of them nickel and diming you each place, because it's harder to keep track of what each utility is getting when they've got different trackers that they can raise on the side outside of the base rates.
You guys have covered this from a legislative perspective very well about the donors and the utilities and who they've given money to. Is there any appetite for the legislature to step in? It sounds like there's going to have to be wholesale changes to this, because this IURC can't do it all on their own.
Yeah, I think we're getting there. I think all the lawmakers are truly, truly worried about these prices. They've gone so high, so fast that they cannot be ignored. And I think we will see that you can't just change a few people on a board. They're going to have to rethink some of the rules that they put in place. There was a discussion today at State Budget Committee, and mind you, it was a suggestion from a Democrat, but still they were like, look, why are we still giving them monopolies? Like, why don't we deregulate and see if this helps Hoosiers? So I don't know if that might be a discussion at some point.
Before we let you go, I know you guys haven't written about it. Well, actually, you did not too long ago. There's going to be 100 school referendums, they estimate, this fall. And I warned the governor in our final time together, the last supper, as I call it. I said, you are going to unleash a fury of these across the state. And he basically threw his hand up and he was like, oh, Rob, you and your drugs. And now it's happening. Are you hearing anything? Because you're inside the Statehouse almost every day. Are you guys hearing anything about, hey, maybe this property tax bill wasn't what we thought it was going to be?
I am not hearing that at all. I'm just not. Now, I will say the 100 number that was tossed out, that was a seminar that we covered. And that was certainly a number that some school groups put out there. I've heard more recent numbers as 50 being the likelihood. So I think that might have been, it was either overestimating or that number out there has scared some school districts kind of to pull back. I think there's a couple dozen that I know of for sure, but they've still got time where, I think it's by August, they have to make those decisions. So we'll probably see several more, in the next month.
All right. Well, we know when it happens. You'll report on it. She's the best in the business. Niki Kelly, the Indiana Capital Chronicle. Thank you.
See you later.
All right, thanks. We'll take a break. Be back watching Rob Kendall Show. Do you have a dog but don't have a fenced-in yard? Your HOA won't allow a fence? Worried about having to watch your furry friend anytime you go outside? Avoid the blazing hot summers and freezing cold winters with All-American Dog Fence. All-American Dog Fence is the cost-effective, easy-to-use in-ground fence system to keep your dog secure and give you peace of mind anytime they're outside. All-American Dog Fence backs their Pet Stop products with a lifetime warranty. Call or text All-American Dog Fence at 317-862-6606 or visit their website at allamericandogfence.com. Mention the Rob Kendall Show and get $200 off a new installation.
Right now, everything's expensive. That includes things you need around the house. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, you could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. John is a Hoosier lifer who takes pride in and stands behind his work. That's why all basic services and repairs with Black Sheep Plumbing come with a 2-year parts and labor guarantee, with water heaters having a 6-year parts and tank guarantee. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today and speak directly with John, the owner. 765-315-7558. That's Black Sheep Plumbing at 765-315-7558.
Buying a home or thinking about refinancing? Work with someone local who understands the central Indiana market. Gary Tedrow with Verity Mortgage helps homebuyers and homeowners explore options for purchasing, refinancing, or even consolidating higher interest debt through their mortgage. Gary's approach is simple, clear advice, and personalized guidance so you can make confident decisions. Visit loansbygary.homes to learn more or get started today. You've got nothing to lose but dollars on your mortgage payment. So call for a free, no-obligation quote, 317-695-5179. Gary Tedrow, NMLS number 179207 with Verity Mortgage, NMLS number 70345, an equal housing opportunity lender.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's the Rob Kendall Show. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're having a great Friday. If you haven't done so yet, give us that little thumbs up. Like the show on YouTube. That really helps us grow. We call it like, share, and subscribe. That's the way you can help us grow. The Rob Kendall Show, dedicated to giving to you Indiana news, politics, and government unlike anybody else. We're going to bring producer Jason in just a little bit for the best YouTube comments of the day, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. But before we do that, we're going to kind of put a bow on. Look, it's been great fodder for the past 3 months, but after tomorrow, it's over. We're going to know who the Republican nominee is. We're going to have somebody definitively to make fun of for 5 months. And so we'll kind of put a bow on the last several months and what we've experienced and where the Republican Party is and where they're going. And we'll do all that in just a moment. But first, hey, you got a masonry color mismatch? Previous repair catching your eye? Not happy with the brick color in your home and ready for a total makeover? Bramwell Mackay Property Services and Consultants offer specialized masonry staining and recoloring. Whether you want to seamlessly blend repairs or completely transform your home's exterior, you want to build something new? Bramwell Mackay's 40-year master masons design and construct custom patios, sidewalks, outdoor summer kitchens, archways, entryways, and more. Bramwell Mackay, BRAMWELLMCKAY.com, BramwellMackay.com, beauty built to endure. So as we said, tomorrow is it. I know many of you are headed up today. Some of you are in the process of being in the process of going up to Fort Wayne, listening to us, taking us with you. We appreciate that. For the Republican convention. And tomorrow, the Republicans will make their choice on who their Secretary of State nominee is going to be. And it's really a choice about a lot more than just a Secretary of State candidate, though. It's really a conversation about what the party wants to be represented by. I mean, let's face it, we all know what Diego Morales is. We've all known for a long time what Diego Morales is. And the Republican power structure, Jim Banks, Todd Rokita, the governor, they've done nothing. They've enabled him. The governor and Todd Rokita and Jim Banks and Daniel Elliott and Elise Nishala and Micah Beckwith and the leaders in the General Assembly, they've done nothing. They're complicit in his behavior. It's not like they didn't know. I mean, and it kept the pattern, the brazenness of the behavior kept getting more and more egregious. Because that's the way people like Diego act. The more you let them get away with, the more they're going to do. So when you talk about Diego Morales in the last 4 years, you have to also talk about the Republican Party. You can't separate them. They're one and the same. And so obviously one of the options at the convention tomorrow is going to be, do the Republicans want to continue down that path? For our show, that'll be the absolute best thing. I think for our state, that'd be the best thing, because I think a Diego nomination ensures that the Republicans will lose the office, which is what needs to happen. They need to be taught a lesson. Then you have Max Engling, a guy who freely admits he's only running because Jim Banks told him it was okay. Not because he wants to fight for you, not because he recognized that Diego's a criminal, potentially, maybe, allegedly. Not because Diego's unethical or corrupt, but he's running because Jim Banks said it was okay. What did Todd Rokita say? Scandals, plural, right? Scandals, plural. And yet, as Bo Bai alluded to yesterday on our program, Max Engling has still said he'll vote for Diego Morales if he's the nominee. A guy whose behavior was so egregious he felt he had to get in the race, he would still vote for him. What does that say about the core conviction of Max Engling? What does it say about the core conviction of Max Engling? A guy who's only running because his boss said it was okay, and even though he acknowledges Diego's so bad he felt he had to get in the race, he'd still vote for him. I know a lot of people think they got a lot of issues with Bo Bai, and that's fine, but he's right. The jersey color matters most to these people, not the character of the person. Why would you think Max Engling would do anything for you as Secretary of State? Our election should be about people that will fight for us. Now, the Secretary of State's office, until Diego, is largely an administrative function, an administrative role. But I think we've entered a new sphere with that. I think Diego's taken it so outside the bounds of that, I'm not sure it goes back to that. It should be. And it'll bring me to David Shelton here in a minute. But why would you think Max Engling would do anything for you when he's already admitted he's completely subservient to Jim Banks, which is the reason he's running? And he would vote for Diego if he's the nominee, so he must not think Diego's all that bad. So that's your second option. Your third option is David Shelton. Old, boring Dave. But he's competent. And look, look, for our show, the Shelton would be the worst thing for the next 5 months for us. But if you actually want somebody who can do the job, which that kind of used to be the standard, right? Hey, we'll vote for you because you'd be good at it. Who would be better than the guy that spent years administering elections? I mean, the guy's so boring and such a nerd, he goes and does recounts for fun. Hey, Dave, you got 3 options to spend your weekend. You can pound some brews in Broad Ripple, you can go to the ball game, or you can administer the recount elections. And Shelton's like, sign me up for those recount elections. The guy lives it. He does. I think it's kind of strange, but the guy lives it. But in the world we live in now, being competent oftentimes isn't good enough. Having the skills or the experience necessary to do the job often isn't good enough. We find ourselves looking for different things for some reason. Even though the actual job doesn't depend on a personality or a smile or handing out plates at Lincoln Day dinners. Diego Morales is a wholly incompetent buffoon. He has no business being anywhere near the office. And the Republicans have an opportunity with this election. And look, I'm not trying to be dismissive of Jamie Rittenauer. She is going to have a core constituency of people. There's no doubt. I think she'll actually do better than some people think. I think the people who are saying, oh, she's going to get 30 delegates, I think they're very low. But I think most people believe when push comes to shove, it may be a 3-person race. But I will say that Jamie Rittenauer has always surprised people, including in 2024 when she got those signatures to run for governor. She beat Curtis Hill in the primary, and she did it with almost no money. Don't count anybody like that out. Weird things happen at conventions. But if you're the Republican Party and someone competent sits right in front of you who can do the job and wants to do the job and is actually excited about doing the job, not the politics of the job, but the job itself, why wouldn't you take that? Why wouldn't you take that? And so the question becomes tomorrow, are the delegates at the Republican convention going to decide competency matters? Are they going to decide that ability matters? Are they going to decide that experience matters? Or does cult of personality matter more? Does being bossed around by a U.S. senator matter more? I mean, look, they've just told people, Banks and his people have just told everybody what they're going to do. There's nothing about Max Engling that you look at and go, wow, he's super qualified for this position. Nothing. Other than Jim Banks anointed him the chosen one. Is that what our offices are now? I mean, that would be kind of ironic because that's the knock on by, right? Well, he's a legacy. He's just his last name. He's just given the position. Well, what is Engling? Every day I lose faith more and more in the Republican Party. Lose faith in the idea that they could get back to what made me believe in the Republican Party. And look, we're going to be fine no matter who gets picked. You know, when people ask me, like, who would you vote for? I said, don't ask me, because I'm not interested in voting R in the Secretary of State's race this fall. Now, I don't know who I'm voting for, but it's not going to be whoever comes out of that convention. But it would show me something. It would show me that competency might finally matter again. You know, it's going to be interesting. Daniel Elliott is going to be with us next week. And I'm going to be fascinated to hear what he has to say, because we'll talk about convention. But we're also going to be talking about what he's endured the past few weeks. And look, you guys know I'm not happy with Elliott right now. I went to him a year and a half ago begging him to help me with Diego, just like I did every other statewide office holder, and he laughed at me. And now it's not so funny anymore. But the one thing I'll say about Dan Elliott compared to these other people is he always picks up the phone and calls. He has the conversation. He comes in here and has the conversation. He doesn't run. He knows I'm not happy with him right now, and he said, hey, we'll talk about it in front of everyone. I said, great. Well, you look at a Dan Elliott who's done a pretty good job as treasurer, and he's being raked over the coals because he had the audacity to say, hey, just respect your neighbor, regardless of what their religion is, regardless of what their belief system is. Just leave them alone and have them leave you alone, and maybe we can all get along. He's public enemy number one now. That's where we're at. We've reached a point in the Republican Party where hot takes on Twitter, or hot takes about you or from you on Twitter, with no substance behind it whatsoever, matter infinitely more than your ability to do the job. Because so many people are about elevating themselves through the social media ladder rather than just doing the jobs presented in front of them. That's why our government gets worse by the day. It's why we get bad public policy. It's why we get bad leaders. Because we invest in people based on things they've said rather than things they've done or proposed to do. And so I said, if I were a delegate, I'd approach it from two ways. If I'm a delegate as Rob Kendall who wants to be a chaos merchant, I'm voting for Diego. But if I were a delegate who actually was there because I love the Republican Party and wanted to do right by the business of the Republican Party, I would absolutely vote for David Shelton. It's not even close. But we'll see what happens. There's going to be a real, whatever happens the next 2 weeks is going to really set us on a course for the future of this state. Here's what I'm talking about. First of all, on Saturday, you're going to pick a Republican nominee. That's going to sort of decide the direction of the Republican Party. And then within the next 2 weeks, we're going to know whether Greg Ballard got the signatures to get on the ballot. And those two things are going to decide the outcome of the election in the fall. who the Republicans pick and whether Greg Ballard's a part of the equation. And if the Republicans lose that office because of those two things or a combination of them, then we get a new playing field in the state of Indiana. Or potentially it's business as usual. Status quo. Everybody goes about the way it's always been. I'm fascinated to see what's going to happen tomorrow. If you're a delegate, it's not an easy thing to do. It's a long day. It's a lot of standing around. But you got a big choice to make tomorrow. You got a very big choice with very important ramifications. Hey guys, if you're thinking about buying or selling your home, entrust, go with a trained professional. Hoosier lifer, military vet, big fan of this show, Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties. Lauren Wilson would love to get to work for you. She'd love to put a game plan together to make your home buying and selling experience the best it can possibly be. And that's what you need. You need an advocate. You need somebody to fight for you. Lauren Wilson's a realtor with At Properties. She's a huge fan of our show, as we said. She's been with us from the beginning. 317-590-2290. 317-590-2290. Lauren Wilson would love the opportunity to meet you, sit down with you, tell you what your home might be worth, find out where you're thinking about moving, put a game plan together. Lauren Wilson, realtor with At Properties, 317-590-2290. And with that, we move into hour 3, brought to you by our great friend John Rust, which, by the way, reminder, you can see John Rust June the 23rd in Avon, the Indy Defenders of Liberty. He'll be the featured speaker, 6:30 p.m., FC Tucker Building in Avon, right there by Best Buy and Texas Roadhouse. I'm planning on being there. Would love to see some of you guys there to support John. He's been a huge supporter of our show, really helped us out. And to be a great opportunity to thank John for all he's done and show support as he's speaking to the Indy Defenders of Liberty on June the 23rd. With that, we bring in producer Jason.
Early today.
Well, here's the deal. You know me, I show up to work, right? I do the thing.
Hope this doesn't throw my fans off their schedule.
We don't take days off here, but I am struggle bussing. Now, I'm not like look, I come to work. It don't matter what condition I'm in, but I have a head cold. I'm not dying, but it's very hard to talk for long periods of time because all that stuff like builds up in your brain.
Every time I see a little spittle come out, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, then I get brain fog. So I said, look, man, I'm going to give it the effort. We're not going to like cancel the show because the people need us, but we are going to wrap up just a little early today.
Well, it was a good show. You packed a lot in today.
Well, I got it all in.
Yeah.
Everything I needed to say. But
right.
I am Cal Ripken. I'm the Cal Ripken of radio. I am the Iron. Remember at the old place, they used to have to tell me to take the days off. I believe in showing up to work.
All right. As do I, and did.
You're here?
I'm finally getting over my my head thing, and just in time for Rob.
It's my kid's fault. This all has come from her.
That's what, I can't blame a kid, though.
I can.
Yeah. All right. Got that built in. Yeah. All right, chat. Early today, brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. If your water heater, water softener, or well pump goes out, or even if your toilet stops working, could be looking at a major expense. Don't let your next call to a plumber break the bank. Call John at Black Sheep Plumbing. Black Sheep Plumbing can do the job right at a fraction of the cost of the big guys. And Black Sheep Plumbing says thank you to all military, firefighters, and police officers with an American Heroes discount. Call or text Black Sheep Plumbing for all your needs today. Speak directly with John. He's the owner. 765-315-7558. 765-315-7558. Black Sheep Plumbing.
All right.
Awesome.
Great job.
Thank you.
You're off and running.
All right. So long, everybody. All right. So, let's get into it. What do we have here? Let me stop that real quick there. Okay. Getting Debbie Holcomb was the first in the chat last night.
Oh.
Got the evening chat going. Tried to get it up around 7 or 8 o'clock. Folks, pop in. By the way, for some that have been asking, for some that don't know, there's a community tab on the YouTube page. Boy, you're killing me over there. You just look awful. On the YouTube page, there's a little tab that says community. And I posted something like, okay, guys, let's go. And that basically, I think you can just like anytime you want pop on there. Yeah. So I'm not sure if that's going to catch on or not. People seem to like to just go to the videos and do that.
Excellent.
So, there
Wonderful.
you go. We're, whatever, expanding.
We're growing.
Yeah, congratulations to Debbie, by the way.
Summer shrinking, we're growing.
That's right. Summer's shrinking dramatically.
We're growing.
Like jumping into a cold bowl of ice. All right, tub of ice. MLM Warriors, good morning. MLM Warriors first in this morning.
Okay, yep.
Because all the late night chats disappear for some reason.
That's right, yep.
Maybe we can lobby YouTube to keep those on there. I don't know.
Yeah, you should write Mr. YouTube.
I'm going to write, find out
absolutely.
who's in charge of this little shindig here. At Real Cowboy Chris, good morning from Bluffton. I've never been in the chat or watched live for more than a like or a comment. I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Thank you.
I think what he's saying is he's in today. Maybe Juneteenth is a holiday for quite a few folks. Who's your watch?
Well, we didn't mention that. We should have taken the day off. I forgot that it was Juneteenth.
We weren't going to take that day off. Who's your watch? We don't take. What do we take off? We take off Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas.
Are we taking Labor Day off?
We already took Labor Day off, didn't we?
No,
that was a Memorial Day. Yeah, we got to take Labor Day off. It throws people off. If majority of the people are off, then we would be off.
Okay, I got you.
These little holidays and things important to a lot of people.
Right.
But if majority of people are not off, then we have to. They're working, so we've got to entertain them
I got you.
At work.
Right.
Who's your watch? Heading up to the convention now from Warwick County in southwestern Indiana.
Whoa.
A 4.5-hour drive to vote for David Shelton.
Wow, what a dedication. Good on that person.
Yeah.
Good on them.
Dave appreciates that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe I'll give you a door prize from his wife's table.
Boring Dave.
Yeah.
Got to vote for him.
Kevin Branham. Good morning, Rob and Jason. Number 1. Billy M4W. Hello, all. Have a great weekend. Pamela Samples, good morning. Looking forward to today's show. Like always, keep up the good work. Well, we'll try. Be sure to hit that like and share. Rusted Bolt Garage, morning all. It's Friday. Think of the movie. Thank God it's Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
right.
No, Friday, yeah. Real Cowboy Chris, who's your watch? Thank you. What for what? Oh. Yeah.
Thank you.
I've been talking to some of the delegates near me, and Shelton is their number 2 pick.
Yeah.
Once switched from Shelton to Max because of his access to money. One switched from Shelton to Max because of his access to the money.
Yeah, so I said, I think Shelton, like if you said who, I say this with like 40% on my like certainty level. So I'm not saying like take this home.
Right.
But I think Shelton, if you said who's going to win, I say Shelton because I think he's everybody's second choice. The issue that I can't figure out is how far down is he going to be after the first ballot? Because I think England's going to win on the first ballot.
Oh, okay.
And I can't figure out if he's going to be too far down.
All right. McLevins, where's the community? You were in the community, Levins. I think you were the only one that actually had posted before in the community thing. There's a button there.
Tab.
It's a tab. Yeah, it says, I think, I forget what the other tabs are, but there's a community there.
Yeah,
Find it. You don't have to. It's not a big deal. You won't be left out too much, but look for it. Give you something to do over the weekend. All right, Ethan Hatcher, good morning, Robbleheads. It's so great to be a part of the Kendall crew. Spelled out with a K, KK.
Oh, I see what you did, alliteration. Yeah.
With all of you.
Ethan's a delegate. I think he's going up today.
I'm so looking forward to watching Dirty Diego Morales go down at the convention this weekend. Yeah, Ethan's headed up there. Hopefully they got his money in time and let him in the door.
He was all concerned. He's like, can they keep you from being a delegate? I was like, they can. And he's like, do you think they did that with me? I said, did they take your money? He said, yeah. I said, then I think you're okay. I think once they took your money, I think you're all right.
This is a political party. The 06010 board. 06010, the zip code in, I believe it was Bristol, Connecticut. Am I correct? 06010 board. Somewhere in Connecticut is the zip code 06010.
What's your screen name?
06010.
We've been engaging for like 10 years on social
media.
But
it's BORED, like bored, like I'm bored.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
what's your screen name mean?
Yeah. Will they have to drag Diego off the stage when eliminated? Will he be screaming "Ape" as they carry him away to the funny farm? All right, Kevin Branham. At Ethan, have fun in lovely Fort Wayne, stripper capital of Indiana. I did not know that.
Is that true?
I don't know. Only one north in Indiana I know is what is that? The Hug. It's in Kokomo.
Oh, I bet it's an upscale place in Kokomo.
Oh, something Huggies or how do I not remember that?
Did you work there?
No, but everybody, the girls in Indianapolis that didn't want their uncles or brothers coming in and seeing them, they would go up the hip hugger. Somebody help me out on that. They would go up there so that nobody, and then the girls from Kokomo would come down to Indianapolis. They would drive an hour and a half to go to work. And,
wow.
Yeah, well, you make good money if you know what you're doing. Almond Joy Tempo. Good morning. Too funny. The Rob Kendall Show has an entire subculture midnight shift. Yes, they do.
We do.
Yep. Check it out. What was that?
This is what I tell people about this show and why some people are learning this the hard way. We have an unbreakable bond here, and it's not about me. It's about all of us and a shared belief about what government should be and what was worth fighting for and who's going to fight for it with you. And that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we have this community that we do. It doesn't matter where we go. The bond is unbreakable. And like I said, some people are now finding that out the hard way.
It's the hip hugger.
The hip hugger.
The hip hugger. Yep, that's in Kokomo. It's the only one I know of in northern Indiana. Apparently, according there's a bunch in Fort Wayne, and maybe that's why we get the answer why they keep doing a convention in Fort Wayne.
Oh, for the strip clubs.
Oh, could be.
Could be.
All right. C. Mills. Good morning, all. Thanks for all the love yesterday. No updates yet. He's just like sitting in purgatory.
It's crazy.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's bad.
Just super tired, so I'll be listening again today and not so much in the chat. Well, again, Chris, we understand that. And, man, just what a terrible thing to, be spending your weekend.
They're just letting him sit there.
Yeah, he's waiting for a spot. So, terrible. Had a, what do you say, what did I say?
Clot.
Blood clot on his liver.
Yeah.
Awful.
It's crazy.
Awful. Young guy, too.
If you're a prayerful type, say a prayer
we know
for
that
C.
he's young, strong. He'll get through it. He's we'll see him out there in his short shorts at the pool soon. Kenny Ramsey. Happy Friday, kids. Ethan Hatcher at Chris Mills. We are all rooting for you to get better soon, brother. Yes, we are. I think Ethan summed it up for all of us there. Mad Duck. And when you're talking about Diego, okay. So like we've known all along, we paid for Diego's trip.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think we paid. I think somebody else paid, and it was he took our money and paid back.
Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what he did?
When he got caught, which is usually the way. Allegedly.
You've got the general counsel paying for these trips and then getting reimbursed. That is bizarre. Why is he? If you were going to do a reimbursement, why aren't you paying for it?
Right. Well, you said he had 4 nights on a hotel, but he was only there for 2 nights.
And then the wife was there the other 2 nights, according to the Star. Or at least that's what their reporting appears to allege.
Yeah. Took 2 days to clean up after Diego. Was that the case? Kevin Branham, the government is off work today. Check the live chat numbers. They were down a little bit.
Yeah,
a lot of people thought, thank God we don't have to watch Rob Kendall to take notes for my employer today. All right, Mad Duck. Yay, witty.
People love witty.
Witty, yeah. Robert Bradburn, back to work, but listening. See, people are working today.
Yeah.
The 06010 board. I would pay for a Diego staff member to have their hearing health cared for. The shouting has to be an occupational hazard. Oh, it's been 9 weeks sitting across from this. Talk about a hearing aid need. That's in my health care plan that's coming up, right?
Yes,
I'm still looking into that.
Anytime.
Shopping around.
Anytime.
Kevin Branham. Hey, Diego, the party is over. Turn out the lights. Turn out the lights. The party's over. That's going to be such a bummer if he loses.
Yeah. I'm hoping he wins.
Man. There's just so much comedy for this show.
Now, he may go nuts if he loses, which would be good.
That's true, too, but that would only be for a couple shows. Come on, Diego. Fight, fight, fight.
You got to fight, fight, fight.
Yep. The 06010 board. Mafia or government employee? Distinction without a difference. Kenny Ramsey. Raju. I think he's singing it there.
The red, white, and blue.
I think I had the right melody. Yeah,
Guardian
you did
of dreams for all because he believes in you.
Sing it, Rob. Okay, Steve Green with an E. If that backwards hat guy has anything to do with it, Diego will win. Come on, backwards hat guy. Baby Fishmouth. I think anyone who thinks, okay, now we're talking about the Ballard signature.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I think, a non-story. I mean, they're making it a story. The fact that they're making it a story is the story. I think the non-signature, I mean, okay. Baby Fishmouth, I think anyone who thinks that's a scandal doesn't know how petition drives work. It is true. It's not like the Ballard people sat there and made these up or said, yeah, pass those on through. They know they have to get to the number. They know some of these are going to be kicked out. And can they ever show that there's ever been signatures turned in that weren't fraudulent from any candidate that's had to turn signatures
you have
in?
No
it
idea
happens.
when you're doing
these
it
are
this
volunteers. These are not paid people
Right.
on his staff in his office doing this.
Well, the bigger story again is the barrier to access. Why is it this hard for regular people to run for public office?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. The 06010 board. The signatures were from the 84 Cubs. Or did I just start that rumor? Paula Pritchard. I am glad to hear you again in the morning. Miss your take on national news sometimes. And then Charles Ludy points out national news is included in the program, Paul, because
John Rust. Thanks, John Rust.
He's our man. T. Heller. I met Tom down in Shelbyville.
That's right.
From Columbus. Signature fraud claim helps hide the fact a significant percentage of info on voter rolls is not current because people move. 9%, he says, 9% of 460 addresses of registered voters I collected didn't equal county record of voter.
I believe that.
So, yeah, I mean, there's going to be a percentage that just...
I believe that.
Yeah, so it's like, are they fraud or did they move or, I don't know. Anyway, Baby Fishmouth back at it again. She says, I assume that's a she. Maybe not. Yeah, it's a picture. Okay, it's a she. I worked on Dan Coates' petition drive.
Yeah.
I can assure you Dan was not reviewing all signatures submitted for him.
No, of course.
30,000. I mean, whatever. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Buck 0707. Bummer, I have to stop listening live today. 8-year-old grandson is having a special day with Oma, or grandpa, or grandma, and I'm not being special.
Oh, wow.
So we'll have to finish tonight. So they had to finally stop and actually pay attention to the kid. Yeah, that sucks when that happens, but, everybody's got to do it. Kevin Branham, the Republicans are deathly afraid of Ballard.
Oh, yeah, totally. No doubt.
Bradley Scheidler, Diego corruption coming to light, fake signatures, and it's only 9:30. Who knew Indiana politics could be so exciting?
We make it.
See, that's what's going to carry this through the summer, through the fall, when everybody else is dying because the only thing they have to talk about during the summer is Trump.
Yep.
And because that's all they know. So, it's going to hurt some people. Not that they haven't already been hurt. John Murphy, where can my wife and I go tomorrow to sign for Greg Ballard? There really isn't a place.
He's got a website. Maybe it says where he's going to be.
You can go to the website. You can spend the weekend on his website. Your wife will be thrilled. The old man, 68. One page out of many. I must have missed the total count. How many? You gave kind of a count.
35,000.
Mm-hmm.
It's 10. It came to 0.002%.
0.002%.
Yes.
Okay. That's where we're
and
at
again,
with our
they
fraud.
should totally prosecute that person to the fullest extent of the law if indeed they did something wrong, something criminal, that you can't be doing that. But let's not act like it's like the whole campaign is a bunch of fraudulent signatures. That's ridiculous.
Right. We had one here. Spray jockey. Rob has the U.S. Open flu today. By the way, you can hear Whitty, Tuesday and Saturday nights on his...
Is that when he's on?
That's when he's on. Somebody asked that, and I think, or maybe Mad Duck. Mad Duck seems to be a big Whitty fan.
No?
I think Mad Duck was just pointing that out. So, here you go. Tune him in. Check him out. Live it, love it, learn it. All right, let's see. MLM Warrior. Summer of Rob. Oh, Whitty says Mad Duck says no shows from Whitty this week due to the convention. So Mad Duck's keeping us updated.
Oh, she's a fan.
On
like
Whitty's schedule. There we go. Okay, continuing on with earlier chats. John Murphy. Okay, we said that one. We had the old man, Steve Green with an E. This is exactly why we need term limits. The incumbents rigged the game in their favor. It's not a fair fight. Added, I'm guessing those collecting signatures are paid, per which obviously invites fraud.
Some of them are paid, some of them are not. I don't think this person was a paid person.
The organizers are paid,
right?
But then they basically hand the sheets out to any people to just go around and do it out of the goodness of their heart. And then why do you make up fake ones? It's just like, what? I mean, what's the deal?
Why do people do anything? Why did some guy invent a bunch of donors that didn't exist?
And we've got some
imaginary money,
and we have some of the fraudulent names that appeared. apparently. C. Mills. You mean Phil McCracken isn't a real name? Most people probably don't get that reference, Rob.
The Simpsons reference.
There we go. The old man, Ben Dover.
Yep.
And Seymour Butts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simpsons.
And Mad Duck adds, don't forget Amanda Hug and Kiss.
That's right.
Amanda Hug and Kiss.
Yep.
Yes. There's just a couple of names there that we wanted to that they found in the fraudulent files.
Yes,
apparently. Yes. All right, MLM Warriors. Nice interview set, plain and simple.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ethan didn't like the microphones there, so sorry. Ethan.
I think it looks pretty good.
I mean, that's
no
plan.
job.
We're just going with the simple.
That's right. You want the plants, you got to wait for me to talk.
Right. C. Mills, no plants? Question mark. Yeah. The 06010 board. Too many allergies.
Yeah.
We were having an issue with that. So, yeah, we had to cut back on the foliage.
Yeah.
Charles Ludi. The laughing in the background of the video is priceless. That would be the Diego video with, was that witty laughing?
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah, great job. Steve Green with an E. How much do I have to donate to get Diego to tell the truth? You pay.
You pay. Then he will. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah. Mad Duck answers, unless you're paying for a trip to India, you don't have enough money. No, we pay.
We pay.
Yeah. Josh Richardson, I think Rob should have a monthly spot on with Indie Reporter. People are witty fans. Jan Hatch, Stephen is a national treasure. We must protect him.
Oh, yes,
he is. Kevin Branham, good segment, Rob.
Thank you.
06010 board, all over it today. I was wondering if there would be a show on this holiday. Maybe they will take a day off for Toyota-thon. That's coming up. When is that? Mark it on our calendar, Rob. I want the day off. MLM Warriors, good job at producer Jason on the data center segment. Data center.
Data.
Yep. Data. Data, I found out, was a character on like Star Wars, he was the alien dude. So there is a Data. I knew there was a Data. So I'm trying to say data. Trying to make that clear in my head. Drain the swamp. What's an apology? This is the mayor of Shelbyville, his AI video.
Yeah.
What's an apology worth when you said something you really think? Yeah. You're an ass. Sorry I said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But,
it'd be like me apologizing about Diego now, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, okay. C. Mills. I wonder if the mayor of Shelbyville finally apologized because everyone quit going to his restaurant. He owns a restaurant. I'm not sure how many, but I know at least one. And people on social media were commenting about how the parking lot has been very vacant over the last couple of weeks.
You can own a restaurant and be a mayor?
Well, you can. Yeah, you can. You don't have to be unemployed to be a mayor.
Well, I mean, that is your job, right?
Right. I mean, it's no different than being an attorney or anything
else.
But
typically, I think when you're a CEO of a city, that would be your job.
Apparently not in Shelbyville. All right. That's probably where he was. Well, okay, we'll leave that alone.
Thank you.
Yeah. MLM, because the worst thing you can do as a restaurant owner is drink your profits. All right. MLM Warriors. Good job at producer Jason. I just read that. Thank you. I just wanted to hear that again. Okay, Jack the Libertarian. This is the one I was looking for. Not everyone can have a good producer to edit videos like Rob.
That's right.
Yep. And the 0601 board. People make mistakes. Perhaps I'm too forgiving. He's leaning on the sympathy side for the mayor, which that's something.
That video was very odd.
Yeah, it was very strange.
It was a strange looking video. The mouth does not appear to match up to the words.
Right. Now that could have been maybe the latency, which we know about that, where the words come before the talking. A lot of podcasters do that and don't have any idea how to stop that. First thing, what was the main thing we were freaking out about the night before the very first show?
Yep.
Latency. I had nightmares about latency.
Yep.
That's when the words come out after the audio.
We spent like a day on it, like a whole day.
Oh, I spent like 2 weeks on it.
Yeah.
And then found out it was a really pretty simple fix. Shrog Samich. Rob, what did Mad Hatter say about door tickets?
I've not had a chance to talk to Mad Hatter guy yet. I have to talk to Mad Hatter about a couple things. I'm going to text him when we get done with the show here today.
Okay. Shrog, tell Mr. Sandwich that if he cannot get in, to come around to the back, and I will let him in.
Perfect.
Mr. Sandwich, if he wants to be at the show, he's going to be at the show.
Perfect.
You bring him no matter what. All right. Chris Spangle, I think people are making fun of your Zoom videos.
Probably.
Which I tolerate because I don't have to work with them, and Rob goes home and does them. I'm like, fine, go ahead. Not that I have a big say in any of this, but we probably need to get Rob a better webcam, I guess.
Let me explain the Zoom videos, okay? My wife works at home.
Mm-hmm.
So some days she doesn't have meetings and so I can do them at my house.
And not everybody can come in the studio and do the interviews.
And then some days she does have meetings, and I can't do them in my house, and then I have to go to other people's houses to do the Zoom interviews. And then some days I have to do them here. So I have to have a very just sleek little mobile kit that allows me to do them anywhere at any time because my wife works.
Somebody's got to pay the bills.
That's right.
Hope she doesn't get no.
So that's why, for those of you who always ask, like, why is there always a different background? Why do I look like I'm in a closet sometimes? Like, that's why.
Okay. About 15 people pointed out that Data is Star Trek, not Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Those people get angry about that.
Yeah. Star Trek, Android. Okay, Star Trek. Everybody's
the Star Trek. Star Wars people are
wow. I was
really
never
sensitive.
a big fan of the newer like Galaxy Explorers or whatever, and the Star Treks. I mean, the original ones were pretty cool. A few of the movies were pretty cool, but I was never okay. Also, where's the 0601 board explained my username. Here we go.
Oh,
Rob.
great.
My username is a bad parody related to fantasy sports. Still doesn't tell me anything.
That doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah. MLM Warriors. Rob, Zoom videos are fine. Pay Rob more money where Rob can have a backdrop. Got backdrop.
I have a
right
backdrop right there. The problem is I can't always do them here.
Ethan and I spent.
I have to do
a
them
lot of
around
time
the
on
guest when the guest is
Well,
available
yeah,
and where I'm going to be at the time.
Yeah, I told him he needs to get a backdrop at home, put it up, and do it from the same spot. But still, I think and the reason I bring this up is because Chris Spangle,
smart ass,
commented, Rob has the same internet speed as my 1998 Gateway computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. He says, I haven't seen a video this low resolution since 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
What is that?
I think he had a typo. What was that? There was a sitcom, 2 Girls and a Guy, or 2 Girls, 1 Guy, or I think that's a typo there, and I can't pick up on the reference. So, Chris, okay, no one's going to mention Rob is in the closet.
I'm not in the closet. I'm in another room.
06010 board. Rob records at home on his old flip phone.
Here's the thing. Can you guys hear it? Does it sound good?
You can hear it very well, Rob.
Sounds good.
That's
what
why I do
matters.
not complain. I just toss it in and play it. The 0601 board adds, Niki's segment is always a winner.
I agree.
Yes. And and he also asked, can we send in pictures of our dogs for the next commercial?
Well, you have to ask the All-American Dog Fence people and call them at 317-862-6606. 317-862-6606.
All right. So we're going to cut it a little short today because Rob is illin and I don't want to catch it. I'm starting to actually 2 days of feeling okay, and I don't want to come down with whatever the toddler tyrant gave you. And the wife has to stay. Oh, well, they're still a separate. So you send her to preschool anyway. Huh?
Oh, so the rule with preschool, as long as they don't have a fever, they don't care.
Oh,
she's not getting sick.
Because it's going to pass around, help that whole immune system thing
It's
anyway.
a cold. It's not like it's some horrible thing.
Right.
It's just if I worked a 9-to-5 job, I wouldn't have an issue. The problem is I got to talk for 3 hours and my head just gets filled up with everything.
True.
And it's hard to do.
I understand, Rob. It's no problem. Okay, so that is why the chat was early and why we are cutting off early. But I guess I'll let you explain all that. And the chat is brought to you by Black Sheep Plumbing. We certainly do appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Going to be an interesting one with the convention. We should have all kinds of cool stuff on Monday. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll see you. I'm out.
Hey, is your driveway showing signs of wear? Freestyle cycles, road salts, environmental buildup like mold and dirt can all cause unsightly damage that can end up in expensive repair. Seal Now are the clean, seal, and stain professionals. Any outdoor concrete service. We're talking driveways, sidewalks, patios, you name it, they do it. They bring it back to life. And they do more than just concrete. They do wood, too. So decks, fences, pergolas. Seal Now. Visit sealnow.com or call 317-548-2002. You can get a totally free estimate for your project. And on top of that, get 20% off any long-term sealing project. Sealnow.com, the clean, seal, and stain professionals. And yes, thanks to John Russ for letting us do the extra 30 minutes today instead of the hour. We will be back Monday. We will be jam-packed and ready to go with all sorts of Indiana news, politics, and government. A whole bunch of stuff from the convention, which promises to be super wild. You guys have an amazing weekend. You be safe. You enjoy yourself. Have a happy Father's Day. Enjoy yourself to all the dads out there. Thanks for all you do. And that's going to do it for us. For producer Jason, I'm Rob Kendall. You've been watching The Rob Kendall Show.